Hello and welcome to the first session of X-Crawl Infinite, a new game that we are starting. I'm joined by my frequent friends. Say hello, frequent friends.
Hello, frequent.
Hello,
Hello,
frequent
frequent
friends.
friends.
That was bad.
You're actively getting worse at it.
I think that was
the
better than
hardest part
normal.
for this. No, it wasn't.
No, Andrew, you were like 3 syllables off.
I genuinely thought Maddie was going to be the only one that said it.
I thought so too.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good.
Ready to play.
All right. As this is our first session, we'll go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Jack. I am often the GM, almost always on Sundays. And I like running weird stuff like this, which is a game that I pitched as fantasy modern day, but everybody does adventuring and dodgeball. Dodgeball vibes. Not everybody.
That's the
does
movie
dodgeball.
vibes specifically.
Yeah. Dodgeball, the sport vibes. But I'm excited to play. And we'll go alphabetically. My favorite way for you to learn that you can't do the alphabet.
Yes, hello. I'm Andrew. I'm always here. Sometimes I'm running games. Sometimes I'm playing games. I also do all the stream stuff. I don't make the layouts, but
Yeah. If there's issues with the stream,
something's happening.
unless
It's
it's
my
an
fault.
art-based one, it's Andrew's fault. But if it's an art-based one, that was intentional. There's no accidents with that. Next.
And I am Charlie. I do not run games.
Well, it's short, like Charlie is, so it was descriptive as well.
I am Chris. I am perpetually either at work or here playing D&D. I don't exist anywhere else.
This is a lie, and we have photographic evidence of it.
Are we skipping you, Jack, in the alphabetical go round?
Yeah, I went first.
Okay.
No, I'm Jack. I'm in this place alphabetically. There you go.
Following the rules as they were outlined to me.
The best part is that the 5 of you have never got this right. There's never been a time that the alphabetical thing has gone well. So, go ahead.
Thanks. I'm Kristen. My brain is made of Swiss cheese. It's Maddie's turn. Close this out strong.
Okay. Hi, I'm Maddie. I am here all the time as well. Sometimes I run little things here and there, but mostly I'm just a player on Sundays.
All right. The future version of us, when we are famous enough that people watch this, cut that whole section out. That was pretty bad. But we are gonna jump right into this game. We're playing D&D, the old version, 2014. Well, an old version. But there are some changes, some extra skills, some weird mojo points that you can use in crawls, things like that. I'll explain them when we get up to them for the first time. But we start screen black, dark, completely lacking any light as a string quartet begins to play. It's playing legally usable classical music, which is a lot of classical music, but I didn't want to pick one particular thing. And as we hear this classical music, the tempo picks up as it moves into a different part of the movement, and the darkness is broken by spotlights, but not spotlights for a stage, more like spotlights on a field for a game that's taking place at night. The huge ones that have like these rows upon rows of lights. They like ripple outwards one at a time on either side, like staggered, and we see an enormous dungeon. Then, in quick succession, we start to see these different moments of the history of X-Crawl, a sport that has taken the North American empire by storm. It's its popularity is the combination of basketball and football and baseball all rolled into one, and it is the sport that people follow if they were to follow a sport. It is part wrestling, part dungeon crawling, and all entertainment to the people that watch it. People follow X crawlers like they are celebrities, and like they are something that every child wishes to be. We see a wizard in their robes casting a spell, fire spewing from their fingertips, even as with a look of horror, they're completely bisected through the middle and slides down, and like two people in black stagehand outfits rush across with the diamond. We see a dwarf like slamming their hammer into their shields to make a ringing sound as some skeletons are turned. We see all these moments of magic and melee and like archers making incredible shots and archers shooting into the eye of a cyclops, like bouncing the arrow off a wall. We see the various people of X-Crawl through the years, first in like black and white arcane camera trickery, and now in full vibrant 4K color. We see different people grandstanding to the crowd. We see someone dressed as a jester backflipping while they're juggling daggers. We see a wizard just spewing a color spray to the ceiling. And then we see a vignette of people holding up cups. And this one, it gets even quicker as we just see the cups that people hold, the trophies, and around this single monument to victory that people change. And as that happens, it fades into a TV studio. And we see a pair of sportscasters on either side of this table. And one of them says, well, as you know, the Kyrodale Open's about to start, and it's one of the few ways that people can even get into Division D. Normally, you have to get sponsored before you come in, but this is open to everybody in, the entire North American Empire, but it tends to be the general area of Illinois. What do you think is going to happen here? And as they pan to the second person, the TV flicks off. And we see 5 people sitting around a table in a quite old-fashioned looking, but not run-down restaurant. It's mostly built with wood, dark wood. And the smell of smoke and charring meat is in the air as what will become our X-Crawl team, meeting for the first time at Dusk's Steakery. We kind of see the camera pan across. We see quite nondescript looking half-elf. You see a dwarf that's lacking the beard that many dwarves wear, but not all. We see a young kid is probably unfair, but like a late teen. And a college age girl, and then like just a wiry like person that kind of doesn't look really like they belong here. And as we see them, we're going to go back in time a day. We're going to start in an underground fight club is not accurate because it's an X-Crawl club, but really it's an X-Brawl club. It's where you technically are doing X-Crawl in that there are rooms, but you are mostly just humanoid people beating each other up until there's one person standing. And we see this wiry figure in the center of the room. And where X-Crawl is all, it's got the wrestling grandstand, the moments of like heightened stuff for the crowd. The underground X-Crawl and X-Brawl scene is like Japanese wrestling. It goes like so much further into this realm of over the top action, and we see like 7 people just pile on top of the wiry figure that we know to be part of your team. The wiry figure just throws them all off. And Charlie, can you describe your character and what they do as a big, like, hulking Henry Cavill type does his arm reloads towards you as he looks like he's about to throw a punch at you?
Teddy, like, as Teddy emerges from the pile of people, they kind of like shake their hair out of their eyes, and just like slowly reach up and kind of mindlessly wipe away a streak of blood from their nose. And then when they turn and see this like approaching behemoth, there's this brief moment when their hand is coming away from their face where they have the widest, just most enthusiastic grin on their face, and then they kind of glance around and they try to like settle their expression into like the very flat, like almost like a disinterested line, um, and very carefully reach up into the air and just kind of make the like come hither gesture with one hand.
We see the freeze frame happens at the moment before impact, and we don't see the result of that. But we do see later Teddy slightly more scuffed, a bit more blood having been wiped across the face from the nose, talking to an older gentleman who's wearing like a it's like a puffer vest and jeans, and he's got like brown boots on. But we're not privy to that conversation as we move forward to the next morning. This time, we get a quick cut as the camera kind of pans over the city of Kiradale, where not everybody in the Tardiant team was born, but it is the biggest city that you all currently reside near. We quickly move through the college campus, which is in Northcore. It's like the Kiradale University. We do see kind of skulking through the shadows a small figure where some security guards are looking for them, but we don't linger on that at all as we flow through to a park nearby at Daggerway Green, where some enterprising nerds have set up a LARP in the park for X-Crawl. This is completely different to the very over-the-top wrestling theme of Underground X-Crawl, where it's 4 erected tall white plaster walls that are quickly put up, and then in the center of the room, a pedestal projects a hologram onto the wall to make it seem as like realistic to the place as possible. Inside the room, we see a group that are clearly the crawlers, and a group that are clearly gnomes that have painted their faces green and are wearing prosthetic ears to look like goblins, wielding like foam swords that have like big chunks taken out of them to look like they are what these LARPers assume goblins would look like. Amusingly, one of the adventurers, the crawlers in this case, is an actual goblin and does not look anything really like the goblins. But as the melee kind of breaks out, we see a far more, as much as it was the down and dirty bare knuckle brawl that we saw Teddy in, this is like the Marquis of Queensberry rules, like version of X-Crawl, where it's like people will stop if something looks like it's too violent. We see the goblins advancing kind of in a line, almost as if they're advancing to be defeated. We see the real goblin on the team stride forward, holding what to anybody else would be a short sword, but they wield like a long sword, still made out of foam, swinging it and just hitting him with the side of the blade, and the goblin immediately acts like they've been cut in half. But at the back, we see, with thunder crackling across their knuckles, Zeph, can you describe yourself and what you do as you see a pair of goblins kind of sneaking around the back of your front line.
Oh, fake out there with that description. Yeah, Zephyrine is a human woman with kind of pale skin right now, but in the summertime she would get very tan. Black hair, blue eyes. She's dressed not in fantasy clothing. She's dressed in athletic gear, like if you're just gonna go work out. She doesn't know what you're supposed to wear to these things. She signed up for this on a whim. And as such, she doesn't really understand. Like, she kind of gets that this is theater version of X-Crawl, but she's doing this because her boyfriend said it might be a good thing for her to try. So as these goblins advance, I think she's just going to it's like, yeah, sure, these are foam weapons and foam sorts of things, but she doesn't use weapons. She can barely wield a staff very well, so she has one, but she's not going to use that. She instead is going to, if they are close enough to her, she's going to. Is this what I want? Cast color spray. That what I have prepared today. Color spray on these goblins.
Sure, we just see color spray is the one that like blinds them, right?
Blinding, yeah.
It's like sleep but for blinding.
Yeah.
We see the magic, it like interacts with the magic dye that they've put on to an extent, and like the dye starts to melt away, and it looks so much more violent than it is because really they're just blind, and they just have been taught that like as soon as anything happens to them, they're meant to go down to make it look like really bad. And they go down clutching their eyes like their eyes are melting out of their head. We see a few of your family on the sidelines, like cheering. I think your older sister and her husband have like shown up to support you, and your younger brother. And then we cut from that to later, you and actually your whole family chatting with. Actually, I asked you this and didn't get an answer. Do you know the person that's putting this team together?
No, I don't think so. Sorry, I forgot to answer that for
Okay,
you.
then just you. Talking to this older gentleman. This time he's wearing a hoodie. He's far more like blending in to the vibe of the crowd. It's also not nighttime, so it's not as cold. Chatting to you, and like he's giving you showing you some pieces of paper and stuff. And we cut from there to a different park. This park is far more filled with people. There are countless men, women, and everything on the spectrum in between, standing around in lines of magic users, non-magic users, and mild magic users like rangers and things like that. And this is the open tryouts for teams that are putting together like Kiradale open teams. We see to the right, there's a gymnasium where there's a bunch of like what seem to be families waiting outside. But in the park itself, we come through and we see there's like maybe 250 people trying out here. And we hone in on particularly plain-ish looking man in this moment. He's not dressed in armor. He's not some kind of giant. He's just a guy. And you've walked up to a test that is like essentially it's about precision. So it's not the bamboo slice of like a samurai, but it's like an obstacle course that they want you to slash perfectly through a gap to hit like just a rope. You've been watching people do it, and there's a guy with like an axe that broke the whole system, and then you had to wait a while they set up a new one because of how badly he missed. He just like crashed through the metal. But you haven't seen anybody hit it even remotely close yet.
Okay.
And can you describe yourself as you
Yeah, Ron is like 30, although to an untrained eye, he maybe looks a little bit older, like disheveled. Wearing just like plain clothes. He's got like a blue and white flannel on and like jeans and not like really equipped like everybody else. But he does have a shield and a longsword with him. And he's kind of looking at it. And he's like, to himself, he's like, that doesn't seem that hard. And he's just kind of thinking about like the wrist flick motion that he needs to make to hit this within its confines.
We kind of pull away from the slash, but we hear we hear one of like the instructors say, "Oh, first one to get it today," and like a kind of rousing cheer because people are also drinking for this. People that are trying out are drinking, which is really not helping. Although it is theoretically you saw at some point a symbol of Dionysus, which really makes that allowed. Not that that should be enough. We pan away from the older crew that are all getting ready, and we pan into the gym, where there is a far more organized like combine of the youth of Illinois who are like going through their like their suicide times, their vertical leap, all of this stuff. They're like various impact drills for like how much impact they can take, how much they can dish out, and we see a young boy, late, he's 19-ish, and currently, Kristen, can you describe your character as they're doing a test that's just how hard you can swing your weapon of choice. Like there's a target in front of you, and it's just measuring like the square inches of force that you're putting into it.
Yeah, Duck takes off his baseball cap, runs a hand through this mop of very like curly long hair, puts the baseball cap back on, rolls his shoulder back once, uh, pops some gum, twirls this like just very boring looking wooden bat like once, twice in his wrist, twice, gets into a baseball stance. It's not quite as like fluid as it normally would look because he's wearing his green Letterman jacket. He has not taken that shit off since graduation. And swings as hard as he can. It almost looks like the bat is like going in slow motion because you can see like where the bat was visibly in space as it's moving forward, but it's not going in slow motion.
It's like the classical music that kind of has died down since we've started to actually see the characters in motion swells back up in that moment, and it kind of becomes almost like Chariots of Fire, just for the duration of the slow-mo swing. And there's like the background of like a baseball announcer being like, "That's out of here." And we cut to later, where the dwindling pack of 250-ish non-sports prodigies and like 60 sports kids are waiting for names to get read out. They go through all of them. Most of the kids that got to this point have already been called out, and maybe a handful of the older people have been called out. And that seems to be the end of it, but an old man's forward who is becoming increasingly familiar to us as viewers. He has quite a well-manicured beard and mustache, and his hair is sort of spiked, but mainly just well appointed, and he wears round black glasses. And he steps forward, and he's wearing like a heavier jacket as it gets a bit colder in the afternoon, with a logo that is an H with a third vertical line in the center of it. And he reads out, Duck and Ron. And we see you head over, meeting each other for the first time, but we'll cut away from that and do the introductions at the dinner. And then finally, we see not a field, nor a room, nor a dungeon, but a dining table. A dining table, on one side sits an older woman. Her hair is she's getting, as she gets older, her hair goes more in a Betty White direction, where no, a B. Arthur direction's a better description, where it gets curlier and curlier and like more rounded as she gets older. But she's still like, it's evident the musculature that she still has. Her hands are nimble as she's like drumming her well manicured fingernails. Not well manicured, but well kept fingernails on the table. And she says, Milo, this is what we'll do. One of my friends is looking for someone quite talented. And since it's no longer an option for you to go back to the schooling that I've paid so much money towards, I suspect that you would be thrilled to take him up on his offer.
Yeah, it's good soup. Good, by the way.
Yes, soup remains unchanged from before I took you in. But he gave me an address for if you were interested. It's the Dusk Bakery. It's not too far. I'm sure you're aware of it. And it isn't particularly far from where you grew up. And he says you should be there around 7. You'll meet the rest of the team. Oh, and you're going to be doing X-Crawl. You know, that'll be fun. Exactly what your parents would have wanted you to do, I'm sure. And in the background to this conversation, a plate just drops to the floor. But we, the viewer, can't see a reason for it. Milo, you hear an angry curse in Dwarvish that seems to be probably the reason. She looks over at the plate and says, anyway, now eat up. And we will cut back to the Dusk Steakery. Those of you who have the means to eat out, probably been here before. It's one of the better steak places in the city. It is run by a man named Wilhelm Dusk, who is absolutely a vampire, but for some reason tries to pretend that he isn't a vampire. Like he has the speech difficulty of a man that has fangs, but he plays it off as like that he's like new to the North American Empire, despite the fact that this place has been here run by him for like 40 years, and he hasn't aged. And it's not like a bit to get people in. It's like an oddity of this man. But the 5 of you you're in like a private room, which is outside the price range of almost all of you, barring Zeph. But you're in this private room, and it's about 7:05. You were all kind of told 7-ish, but Hank said come earlier and we'll have some drinks at the bar if we're waiting for anyone. And he has brought you all in, but has gone off to organize the like food and stuff to like how food's going to get done and things like that. And the 5 of you are left in this private room. The smell of smoke and wood and charred meat heavy in the air. And as you start talking, feel free to describe some more about how you are when you're not in competitive mode and what you look like and things like that.
So this is the team. Duck is like the first person to like break any sort of silence. He's got this big grin plastered across his face. He's still wearing that Letterman jacket and baseball cap from earlier, and is like leaning against a door frame, whatever he can lean against to make himself look like he's at ease.
Yeah, there's a door frame.
Sorry, what did you
Yeah.
say?
This is the team.
Okay. Yeah, looks that way. Do you always wear that? Are you in high school? Do we have a child on the team?
I just graduated.
All of
Feel
you,
better.
well, everybody just will have been. It's like the start of February, something like that. No, start of March. Like it's early spring.
I graduated almost a year ago.
Yep.
Have
Okay.
you, have, you,
9 months.
Timeline.
have you not changed since then?
It's a nice jacket.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I didn't say it wasn't.
Got a
It's like
patch
part of
that says,
the.
that was your
it has a
thing.
patch that says Hollow Elm High. Go Big Green.
It's like part of the character of
Right.
it all, you know. We've got a whole
Oh,
thing that we're
This
doing.
is your character.
Well, it's also me. I'm Duck, by the way. I don't know if we've all actually gone around the room, introduced ourselves.
Your
You
real
definitely haven't.
I think you could get a better stage name than Duck.
No, it's just my name is like Sawyer Mallard, and you know mallards are ducks, and
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense. Gotcha. I'm Goose.
Oh,
No, you're not.
that's great.
Make a deception check.
Can I make an insight check?
Everybody can make
I'm
an
gonna
insight
be
check,
invested.
I'm
except
making
I'll,
one too. It's
I'll
gonna be
make-
hilarious if I.
if Duck wants to make it,
Anything that's
it's a
good.
disadvantage because you're just so believing of that moment.
I'm in
That
a
doesn't
Actually, I
have any
forget what
stakes
Duck
in it.
highlights.
Goose.
Roll.
Actually, it doesn't have. You're not proficient. Yeah, all of you believe that this dwarf could have the name Goose. It's simply possible. Whether or not you think that it's 100% true, only Zephyrin thinks it's like 100% true that their name's that. Teddy and Ron are both like, the coincidence is very, very coincidental.
I hate to break the trend of animal bird names, but that I don't have that kind of a nickname. I'm Zephyrine. So not as bird like.
Sounds
Well, that's
winky.
great.
Close. My lucky choice character. Not being willing to go before them.
I think Teddy is like looking at you and kind of mouths to themselves close, as though that was your introduction, and then just sort of like when they shrug, it is a whole upper body movement. They are so rangy, very wiry, but with like the kind of like mitt-like hands where it's like too broad, the kind of hand that would be very good like whenever you're Duck, you immediately, oh, that's somebody who, you know, tried out for the basketball team, obviously. They're not that tall, but it's that kind of build. And Theodric, but usually I just go by Teddy. It's not my character. I'm still deciding my character, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm Ron. I mean, Ron's pretty short already, so I go by Ron.
Okay. No, this is good. This is good.
The door that Duck, you're leaning on the door jamb of, which was closed because it's a private room, slides across as the thin man that you all met and were. Well, actually, Milo, you only just met him recently, but all of you otherwise have talked to him about the team. He steps through the door and closes it behind him. Goes, Oh, excellent. It seems like you're all getting along famously. Did you do introductions? I can do introductions. I'm somewhat of a, well, in my club I used to do the toasts. If anyone's interested.
Sure.
Yeah, Teddy makes like a toast gesture in response.
He goes
This
to
gesture
the
is
head of
him
the table.
taking a bite out of a piece of invisible toast.
Sure. He goes to the head of the table and says, "Well, as most of you know, my name is Hank. Hank Jones. I run the Hank Sporting Goods. Some of you may have frequented the number 4 sporting good store in Kirradale. Anyway, I didn't mention it when we were coming. I was bringing you all together, but I'm looking to retire. I don't have family. I have a little bit of nest egg, and I'm selling my store. So I wanted to give something back to the sporting world that has given me so much in terms of my career. And I thought, what better way than to give some young, aspiring ex-crawlers their first shot at glory in the Kirradale Open starting next week. And having found all of you through various ways, either from your exploits in the X-Brawl or in various parks or gymnasiums, or because I know a relative of yours, I've collected what I believe would be an interesting team. I am by no means an expert in X-Crawl. Much of my sporting expertise was in the lesser sports, football and basketball. But I think that this is a winning team. We've got some highly skilled individuals, and he gestures towards Milo. Some good with a sword, and he gestures towards Ron and sort of towards Teddy. And then some in between things. He gestures towards Duck and Zeph and says,
There's like this moment where
My eyes flare.
Kind of like, yeah, Teddy like looks at Zeph and then over at Duck and like just, I think, to Duck, mouths between things, like in a real questioning, like eyebrows raised, very parody of a the fuck kind of face.
Duck catches Teddy's eye in that moment, and the grin sort of stays plastered, but he like just shrugs a little bit.
And
I say a little
whatever,
bit,
like,
but like in an exaggerated kind of way, like an exaggerated, subtle shrug.
yeah, Teddy looks over and then when he like sees that like glare and just kind of like, yep, this is gonna be a good start, and just tries to give like the most subtle thumbs up to Zephyr, and then just kind of like leans back in the chair and like watches this guy.
I will say that you have felt like, you know, that when you have like a charge of static electricity, each of you in this room, except for Teddy and Zephyr, have felt like your fingers zap when you've touched something. Like there is slightly more electrical energy in this room than is like normal.
Oops.
And Hank continues and says, well, food is, of course, on me as part of the celebration for the beginning of hopefully a long journey towards X-Crawl for you all. And I've taken care of the entry into the Kirradale Open, and we'll take care of the entry into one event after that if you make it into Division D, but that is the limit of my finances. I
No,
had to register a team name. Sorry, continue, Ron.
no, that's fine. What's the terms exactly? Like, we just like say, oh, we're sponsored by Hank.
Oh,
We
I'll handle the sign up stuff. And if you get through the second round, if any of you are more interested in that kind of stuff, you can come with me to learn about how it works. in between round 1 and the final of the Curadale Open. But typically, every team will have a sponsor, and the sponsor tends to handle the enrollment of each team. There are very few independent exports, certainly none in Division D. It just makes it easier for the advertising and things if you go directly each crawl goes directly with to the people that will be deciding what advertising is being sold during that time. But I will be an equal partner, so I believe the cash prize for Curadale Open, if you win it, is 10,000 gold. So we would simply split that 6 ways, and you would all make a hefty payday. If you make it to the final day, you will earn some money no matter what. The final round, and the first round will be very brief because there's 350, 60 teams, so they don't have a lot of time to do the first one, and the second one might be a little bit more invested if you make it through. But yes, as I said, food is on me. Order whatever you like when the wait staff come round. Drinks are also on me to an extent, and everybody make a perception check.
Mhm.
So many 7s. I forgot, Maddie, that you had such a bad thing. The skillful rogue is the one that notices that he does look specifically at you, Milo, as he says, but drink responsibly. Because he doesn't know why you got, I think you pieced together, he doesn't know why you got kicked out of school. He's like, all I know is that I'm taking a person that got expelled from school yesterday onto this team as a favor. He says, but I found in my long time within a sport adjacent industry that teams getting to know each other is important. So I will be here to answer questions about Exfil in particular, though I'm sure some of you potentially know even more than I do anyway. And then tomorrow morning, if you come to the store, I will close for the morning, and you can pick out your equipment. That most of them will have my store logo, of course. Not everything I sell has my own branding on it. That's everything. Toast to Helen's Heroes, which is the team name that I registered you under. My departed wife, you see. Not recently.
Rod will raise his some Coke.
Zephyr will raise her water with lemon.
Teddy imitates them. Teddy is like a beat late with that toast.
Milo unslouches from where he was in his chair and gets a. I think he grabs his drink, but it doesn't look, so he might have accidentally tried to grab someone else's.
It's a private room where you would normally seat 12 people, so I'm pretty confident that your dwarf arms can't reach somebody else's drink unless you're willfully trying to.
Okay.
But yes, a moment later, the door opens and 3 people walk in. One of them is a tall man that you all who have been here before know to be Dusk, the proprietor, and he bows graciously and says, if you have any particular cocktail-related requests, please come to the bar, because it would be easy to explain to the bartender immediately. But these two, and he gestures to a gnome and a green-skinned, quite stocky-looking woman, who's like a perfect cross between an orc and a dwarf. They'll be serving you this evening. They are at your disposal. One of them will always be within earshot. If you open the door and you don't see one of them, please let me know immediately. And he kind of he says that like it's a joke, but it's probably not a joke that he will be angry if they're not there. But they scurry around taking the orders. Well, the gnome scurries and the dwarf walks purposefully around taking orders. Does anybody at this steak restaurant have a particular dietary thing that they are interested in noting in this moment?
I know what Milo orders, but
Sure, if you know exactly what you order, also feel free to say that.
okay.
For character
Milo
growth.
Milo orders the 40-ounce tomahawk ribeye with duck fat confit potatoes and grilled asparagus.
Hmm. The most expensive steak, the one that's meant for sharing.
Yes.
Hank does not bat an eye.
I'm Maddie, don't eat steaks, so I don't know the different kinds of steak cuts you can have.
Well, it's
Small
a
to
steak
good,
restaurant. You
whatever.
don't have to order steak, but
Yeah.
there is a nice steak for you.
Generic,
It's only if you have a
neutral
particular
one. No.
true neutral steak.
Zeph gets the New York strip, cooked medium.
Great.
Disgusting.
Roll a d, flip a coin for me, actually, to see which waiter takes your order of a steak cooked medium.
What's the coin flip command?
/F. I
Roll
think.
1d2.
Oh, roll 1d2. This sets the whole tone for how people view Zeph. It's the gnome, and she very politely is like, the New York strip is a little bit tough. If you wanted to have like, the porterhouse even is a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Cooked medium. Great. And she like jots it down. She has perfect penmanship. It's not in common. Well, it's not in English. It's in Gnomish. Like she's writing Gnomish
You write so
shorthand.
neatly.
Oh, thank you. I was well, I am. I'm in school to become a teacher, and handwriting is important, even in these modern times. Then she realizes that she's actually probably not meant to be making small talk with you as she's taking orders, and she like scurry pirouettes off towards Duck to take Duck's order.
Duck orders. It's nothing that he like is picking as like horrifically expensive or offensive, but it is like 2 fully loaded baked potatoes, a chicken parm, and like a full meal size salad as opposed to like a side salad. In the way that a teenage boy who does sport needs to be eating a lot of calories.
Yep.
The
Fair.
big carb loading.
The gnome nods and like jots that down. On the other side of the table, the dwarf has like stopped next to the dwarf took the tomahawk order and didn't like even remotely consider that to be a crazy order. And stops next to Ron.
Oh, yeah, I'll have what he got. Oh, and he said to go to the bar, but I can order. You can get me a beer and like a shot of whiskey, right? That's fine.
Of course, it's only if you want a fancy cocktail. Even if you wanted to order like a martini or something like that, I could do that for you.
No,
But
fine.
yes, beer and a shot of whiskey. Do you want a jug of beer? She says to like the whole table.
Sure. Yeah.
Jug of beer.
You get a
It's
jug of-
important for anybody watching this that the drinking age in the North American Empire is 18.
Get a jug of whiskey.
Oh God.
No, that's crazy.
You want me to decant a bottle of whiskey into a jug?
It's okay.
No.
Yeah.
I could. The aeration does not serve the whiskey.
Oh, okay. I'll say what he's having then.
You just like
Play it back to Ron.
ordering more and more. You're going to get 2 tomahawks now. No, and then
80
finally,
ounces of steak.
That's so much
well, most of
meat.
it's bone, so it's fine. The gnome is the last one to take your order, Teddy.
Teddy kind of looks over to Milo and Ron, and then back to the gnome and says, is there something you suggest?
All of the steak past a certain point, good. It really the porterhouse is like the standard. But then there's some like really nice other cuts as well. We do a very good, actually, a dire lamb shank. It's a little bit smaller than the tomahawk, but it's like the house special, and it's cooked in a very, very, very wine heavy sauce, red wine, obviously.
I think actually Teddy nods and says, I'll try that.
Great. Okay. She writes that down. Hank orders something. Something that is neither compelling nor interesting.
Old man
And
gets old man food.
Yeah, old man gets old man food, but make sure that there's bread for the table and things, and like all the food will start coming in. There's like bread and the pitcher of beer and the 2 shots of whiskey arrive, and any other drinks that people ordered. But the Hank doesn't seem inclined to run the conversation, so you're left largely to your own devices, and he will chime in if he feels the need to.
Teddy
Right.
is going to kind of glance at everyone and like the moment Milo starts talking, Teddy like turns to like face you with like their whole body. Like it's a very attentive posture.
Milo freezes for a second and like, okay, whoa. But all right, so like a lot of you were actually like kind of like really earnest, maybe feel a little guilty. Not actually Goose. Name's Milo.
I mean, we can still call you Goose.
If you want
Is
to.
this like are you trying to like create this as like a thing for yourself?
No.
He's
No,
I-
I was being a dick,
Yeah, they were
Which-
making
but-
fun of
Oh.
you.
which is my bad.
Oh,
Aw.
That
Yeah.
is kind of rude.
That's what friends do. Are we sitting next to each other?
Yes.
Yeah, I give him a little playful. Like like not a hard elbow, but just like a little elbow into the side there. Yeah.
I asked, when was the last time you were like genuinely sad?
Who are you talking to? I've
You, not you, certainly. I think we all know who I'm talking to.
Duck like scrunches his face.
Is it right now?
Yes, and now?
Okay.
No. When was the last time I was like sad? I mean, you know, sometimes things just don't go your way, and you don't. I've just found it not useful to dwell in the sadness when we've got more things to do, right?
good attitude.
When was the last time you were sad? Do you want to talk about it?
This
Yeah,
morning.
9 to 5. Oh.
Hey.
Oh, you said
That
this
flies over
morning.
Steph's head.
More productive conversation. What is it that you do here? Yes, you.
Me? Oh. I mean, I got a baseball bat that I'm pretty handy with. We can hit things pretty hard with it, and more recently, I can hit things pretty hard, and then also it keeps ringing off for a while. That's a pretty nifty trick.
What does that mean?
I believe our young friend is being humble. Duck is apart from all of the physical attributes, quite gifted leader in his high school performances. And while I have faith in all of your abilities as crawlers, you do sometimes need someone that's interacted with the team sport aspect of X-Crawl. And Duck is, of all of the children, and then he corrects himself, all of the athletes in the gymnasium this afternoon, Duck was the most suited as a leader. Well, perhaps not the most suited to walk right into a X-Crawl team.
Mm.
That's good. I am notably directionless.
Perhaps it would serve you if you all went around now that Master Mallard has. Nobody's ever called you Master Mallard, but he seems to think it's a joke. Now that Master Mallard has revealed some of the things that he could do, the more you know about each other, the easier it will be in the moment, because you will not have a lot of practice time. The Open begins tomorrow, and you'll draw Flight, and it could be you go in tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh.
I am a sorcerer. I do magic. Ice flare with
Cool.
lightning crackles. So I don't want to be in the front, because I can't do the sword. Sword stuff is not my my thing.
Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Jennifer?
I can take your hits for you, Zephyrin. I do. And he just kind of trails off, like looking at like the drink and the like. Is this the kind of steakhouse that has like biscuits ahead of time?
It has bread.
Bread, yeah. So like he's picked up that bread and he like got distracted by it. And he shrugs and says, I can use most weapons that I pick up. I like the bigger ones. But really, it's one of the things I used to do is like underground fighting, and I can do some damage, but I need to be on a team where I'm kind of blocking the hits for you.
That would be
There you go.
so great.
Complementary skills already. Look at us.
Yeah.
We were recruited, so it'd be bad if we were oops all wizards or something.
Oops All Wizards quite a... actually, everybody roll X-Crawl law. Because Oops All Wizards is definitely a team that existed at some point. Made the great decision to not have the thing open. Both Duck and Milo, you remember Oops All Wizards. It actually functioned pretty well. They had an abjuration wizard with like ruined plate mail who like could take so many hits. They had a ring of like Armor of Agathis, and they would consistently just wipe all the minions out while the other people were dealing with the casters. A far better team than the follow-up team, Oops All people that multi-classed into a ranger. Yeah,
Oh.
Charlie, I think just for the nature of Oops All Wizards, they're like an old school one. I think. So you don't know
OAW
about them
actually
as
made it
much.
really far in their division, you know.
Say again.
Just saying, OAW, they've made it real far in their division, actually.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
But that's we're not Oops All Wizards, so maybe no.
in fact, Oops No
I'm not
Wizards.
a wizard. Yeah, I'm a sorcerer. So
Mhm.
I think at some point I think my magic comes from Zeus, maybe? I don't know, it's kind of stormy, so
Wait, are you a fucking demigod?
No, like generations way long ago. Like no one in my
Oh,
family has had
you
magic
have
for a
a-
long time.
He gets
Do you have
around.
religion? Yeah,
It
Teddy
wouldn't
does have religion.
it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. He does. It is kind of his
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
thing.
we all know. We all know.
Oh, bad for the goose comment.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, one day Zeus probably turned into a goose. It rhymes,
My
and maybe that goose. Nevertheless, Milo, Ron, would you like to weigh in on your capabilities?
Yeah, sure. I can make my sword light up and hit. Good. I if it's anything like the tryouts, I would say that I am probably technically the best swordsman that you're probably going to see in this thing.
Well, that's pretty damn
Definitely in
incredible.
Division D. I was watching. It was certainly not your skill that was why another team didn't pick you up. But,
Do you mean technically, as in like technically, or like technicality based?
Both.
Okay.
I wear
everybody looks at Milo.
heavy armor, not a shield.
Oh,
Uh,
matters.
Actually, I have some plate mail for you.
Oh,
So we'll need to
even
get
better.
you fitted early.
Okay. I am quick, pretty nimble. Was kind of learning magic. At it. Can't pick up anything that's too heavy. I kind of just am an all-arounder. Probably don't want me up in the front. So like, if that looks back to Teddy, if that whole like human shield thing was like an open offer, fantastic.
Eddie gives you a thumbs up and like that very wide grin. Yeah, just duck behind me.
Yeah.
Behind me if you need to.
Pretty
I
accurate.
won't be behind you.
Both
Pretty accurate with the
Teddy
crossbow.
and Duck, you have not expertise, but you have proficiency and or stuff for extra law. Both of you know that the thing that your team is missing is like the that would be called. It's like normally it used to be called a thief, but then people decided that that was like a derogatory term to use. So now it's like called the trap man. Who each team kind of has someone that deals with the traps, and some crawls, not in Division D, even like give the trap man like a cipher to solve before they give you like trap information. Because you don't walk blind into traps in X-Crawl. They used to do that, and it was just like not interesting to watch. Like 5 out of 10 teams get crushed to death by like closing in walls. So now like traps are, or you get a heads up on them. But it does make you think that both of you are like, oh, that's a rogue. You're describing yourself. You're a rogue. You do the rogue things. It's around this
Yeah.
time that the food is delivered, which is to say, a normal meal for Zeph and Hank, 2 normal meals for 2 tomahawk steaks, and also a lamb shank that looks like it might have been from the Flintstones because it was from a
Oh,
dire
Lord.
lamb. All of the food is very good.
With with a lamb shank clutched in their fist like a club, and just like taking periodic bites out of it. Theo goes, so I know what you're good at, but and I know that you two are not good at taking hits, but what are the rest of us bad at? So we know our gaps.
Social connections.
But you're doing a good job today.
Oh, never mind. No
We'll
weaknesses.
work on it.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm pretty slow. If you tell me something, you like I might have to ask a lot of questions. Like a lot.
Wait,
of
like
questions.
you're not smart. Is that what you mean, like slow? I thought you meant like you're not quick.
Oh no, I'm quick enough. I mean, I'm not that fast, but I am. And he kind of like pauses, and you see this like moment where he just kind of thick as a brick is how I've heard it stated.
I thought the Goose nickname was a real thing. I didn't realize you were joking either.
Wait. Oh wait, Juice. I'm confused. This conversation got kind of twisted. Did you think they were named Goose?
No, I thought that when you said that your name was Goose, that you were being for real.
I think they're trying
Oh.
to say that they're also
I think
maybe
they were
not
they thought that too.
the smartest.
I think they're saying that they're gullible.
Yeah, I didn't really believe you with the goose thing. I mean, it was possible, but no, like that's different. I'm talking. Actually, I think at that moment, Teddy like pulls up, like picks up a napkin and shows the like math that they have done to figure out 10,000 divided by 6. This,
How
This
many times did
kind-
you get it wrong?
probably 3-4 times, and there's this like time where finally like it's just like it's gone about the reverse direction, right? Where like the several different sums were tried and like just added up 6 times until Teddy's gotten like an answer within like an approximate zone. Computation's really bad. But sometimes I just don't get things.
Two of you have not
Gotcha.
revealed anything that at all could be a weakness.
Well, I don't bench as hard as some of the other guys on my team could.
Perhaps the weakness of Ron and Duck are that Ron is perhaps slightly too cynical and Duck is perhaps slightly not cynical enough.
Just, well, that's, mix all types.
Understatement.
Yes,
Yeah.
as I suggested.
Get a read
Um,
on you. What?
So I'm not gonna lie. What exactly are we gonna be doing? You're talking about traps and stuff. The goal of the game is to kill the things and move on. Yes.
No.
If there's
No.
things to
The-
kill,
There was a time when it was all speed based. It was basically every X-Crawl was a race. They've moved more towards a point based system. So my understanding for the Curadale Open, particularly the first round, they haven't released anything about the second. Is that there's a start room and a finish room, and then a choice of rooms in between. You get a point for each room you finish, and you lose a point for each member of your party that is knocked unconscious. And if you're in the top 10 quickest times, you get 1 extra point. If you're in the top 10, you get 5 extra points. So the time aspect is some of it, but mostly finishing it is the important thing.
So there's like
Sometimes you gotta.
okay.
the entertainment value of it too. There's like that because it is something that people watch. So like
I
you
mean,
know,
I can make things look flashy.
I will
A prestige
I will
date
say-
sparkles.
as out of not speaking as Hank, all of you that have passing interest in X-Roll, which is specifically not Ron, and maybe not Zeph, but you might be interested in this anyway. You know that the Curadale Open is a music festival that has it's an X-Roll thing that they sell tickets to by having a music festival because nobody wants to go see below D division X-Crawl without like a cherry on top. So for this week, there are acts performing while the crawl is happening. So while it is important to be entertaining, this time of all times, you get a little bit of a pass because there will be live music happening above you.
Noted.
That's the thing about XCOM, right? It's not any like one thing. It's not just beating the bad guys. It's not just putting on a good show. It's all of it.
We can
It's
work
like
on
figuring
presentation
out-
later.
And
I don't think anyone's
often
covered-
you
Go ahead.
often you it's a test of endurance as well, because you'll if you need to stop and take a breather and you wait an hour or even 10 minutes if you have a wizard, that's the difference between you being in the top half of the bracket of the times. So you have to strategically know how to use your resources. You have to entertain the crowd. There's many aspects to it, but I believe that the five of you are well equipped to handle all the facets of it.
Well, and with high level, well, in certain divisions, it's about knowing each team's strengths and knowing if you do really need to push and rush because you're paired up against a bunch of blitzers, or if you've got the time to rest. It's there's two games, I guess. There's the game against the dungeon you're in, and the game against the other people. But that, because
I
we're
know-
Division 4, that's not gonna. Who knows what they're doing, right? That doesn't really come into
Strictly
play.
speaking, the Kirdale Open is slightly harder than some Division D crawls, because the prize money is a little bit better because they get so many contestants. But yes, it also is the case that you are. It's knowledge of what you're dealing with. Each dungeon is designed by a dungeon judge, so it's not an organic dungeon like you would have read about in a history book or heard about from adventures on TV. It's designed to be entertaining, and there will be certainly in the Kirdale Open. There's likely to be one of the end bosses that you'll deal with will probably be more famous than any of the people competing. But yes, it's some of it is a high percentage of it is hitting the right things at the right time and in the right way. But the other things, Ron, I have absolute faith in your ability to hit the right thing at the right time in the right way, and you will be covering some slack for people that are less skilled at that, and they will be covering some slack for you where you are less skilled in the entertainment factor. Particularly if you want to make money long term, being entertaining is very important.
Also, still hasn't been brought up yet. Importantly, Ron, please don't kill people.
Oh, you're allowed to kill people. Anyone that's on staff will be revived.
Oh, I didn't know if that was a Division D thing. Okay, never mind. No, it'd go crazy.
Oh no, that's a Kiradale Open thing. Ideally be non-lethal, but if you accidentally kill someone in the heat of the battle, accidents happen, and their staff are insured. You all are not quite so well insured, but
so
I
don't
will pay
kill-
for any revival.
So
that
don't
you
kill
need.
us.
Yeah, none of you should turn on the party midway through.
Yeah, no.
It's like division. It's like high division things.
You don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
that's
me
the
killing
heal
you.
time. From the doorway, you see the two waitstaff come in. They start taking some dessert orders. If anybody would like a dessert,
Sure, I'll have it.
if you do, you get one.
You guys have cheesecake? I'll have cheesecake and a coffee.
My
Of
little
course,
order,
cheesecake and coffee.
Milo will order an entire tiramisu cake for himself.
Like a sheet pan of tiramisu.
Yes,
Okay.
and we'll in
Where-
the same breath also ask if there's to-go boxes, as he has saved some of his steak as well.
Of course.
I've just realized, is Zephyr the only femme person at this table?
Yes. Yes.
Teddy's very, very androgynous. Like the
Very androgynous.
ranginess, but the face like fits either way, and like Teddy's got like longish hair that's like almost like a bob, but kind of messy.
Great.
So-
Zephyr will turn to
Doug-
Teddy and go, "Where do these boys put all of this food? My boyfriend does the same thing, and I don't get it.
Teddy's holding a bone that could be from a giant.
I don't notice
But
that.
Zeph probably doesn't notice.
No.
Um,
Get a wisdom of 5.
No, it's
actually, continue, Teddy. Sorry.
I mean, me personally, I think I gotta make up for and like Teddy just kind of like pulls up their like sleeve and just shows like a quantity of like bandages from their most recent fight. Like I gotta get it back, you know. So red meat for
Yes,
for red meat.
fair enough.
Zephyr, your phone begins to ring with a ringtone that presumably is custom and only for your boyfriend, so you know
Yeah.
that it's him.
Pick it up. I'll step up from the
Uh,
table and go say, "Oh, 1 second, guys. Sorry."
Careless
I'm going to
Whisper
type
starts
to you
playing.
what he says so that nobody else hears it.
So I mean, Hank says we could be
Wait,
called
I
out.
want to have Maddie respond out loud so
Mhm.
you hear Maddie's half of this conversation.
Yeah, I should be home soon. It's not silly. It's team meeting, so we're finishing dinner and then I'll be home. It's fine. Shut up, Elliot. It is team. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. No. There's like 130 something, and then the rest of them are like our age. They're fine. And then a fresh out of high school kid. Okay. Red or white?
I'm not going to type that, but he says red.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, he does say love you, and then hangs up as you're still closed. He hangs up first. Sorry, Zeph, you turn around to see a gnomish woman carrying a sheet pan of tiramisu in.
Wow.
And putting next to Teddy with
One
not
spoon.
enough to-go boxes, but still more than you would expect to need. Like, I think she didn't bring enough, but she thought that 5 would be enough.
I'm just gonna grab one of the to-go boxes and put my cheesecake in there, my coffee, and say, well, I'd say it's been a pleasure, and I guess we don't have any time for practice, so I'll see you in the
Wait.
morning.
No, but we don't have time to practice, I agree, but we should at least have like a couple of gameplays that we can just have in our back pocket.
No, we did.
Well, you can.
I'll be in front with the other fighter person. Milo and Zeph will be somewhere in the back, and I guess you float in the middle.
Well, that's not like a play. That's like that's positions. That's like, oh yeah, we have a plan. You're the pitcher.
Right.
You all will be meeting at my sporting goods store tomorrow, so you can talk about it then while
Do
people are getting fitted for things. Ron, you should come at 7:30, and everybody else at 8:30 because it will take longer to fit the plate. Does anybody else need heavy armor? Looks at clearly the answer is no. He's like, okay, yes, Ron 7:30. We'll get you fitted. Yes. Thank you for
Now,
coming. And
You'll excuse
sorry
me,
to
I have an
disturb you.
empty apartment to get back to. Except the door.
That's bad.
There's a deep
Zephyr.
trouble. That is a
That's an
deeply
inside thought that Zephyr said out loud.
trouble, man.
5 of you just look at the door that is still closing behind Ron.
You hear the car?
Yeah, Ron managed to park close enough to this public
You just hear
private
you
room
hear
that you
the
hear the car out the window and just know innately that it's Ron's car.
Can I,
Um,
Jack? In the moment, can I just thought of this a cool idea. Since I have the message cantrip, can I have like a link to my phone that lets me mentally send a text through like casting message, or no? Is that too weird? So I just want to text
I'll
Ellie and
let
say,
you.
"Oh no, I think there is a loser on the team."
I will let you either have that cantrip that lets you text from your phone mentally, or the message cantrip that
Okay.
you can't have both.
Then no, I'll just quickly text
Yeah.
Elliot. Oh no, one of them is a loser.
You get back surely two of them and like a like giant laugh face as he just negs you so hard.
Yeah.
The camera cuts
Uh,
around past Zeph to see just a dwarf stuffing tiramisu into their face at the Shirley too.
It cuts to a man doing a Patrick Bateman face mask, which is Elliot. Just to really hammer home that he's terrible. Sorry, go ahead, Charlie.
Teddy is going to like wait until it looks like whenever we pack up, right? Essentially, Teddy's going to see if there's any tiramisu left on that tray, and we'll just take the tray and like cover the section of leftovers with paper. Be like, you want it this way, or can I take this part?
Oh, he's gonna take my food before asking.
That's no. I mean, whenever you've packed up, like that's when like whenever you've packed up and the the 4 takeout boxes are not enough. That's when he's gonna like lay the napkins over it and be like, you could get it home this way, or
Also, I was
here,
absolutely just negging you. You can have that if you want. That's way too much cake.
Teddy kind of nods and then just mouths negging.
Take the cake. Have the cake.
And eat it too. Okay, so yes, we're not doing team planning.
I can't tomorrow. I guess I don't know.
Well, we can. Why don't we just do it tomorrow when we're all getting fitted for our gear at the shop? That way, it's all fresh in our brains.
Duck is looking sadly at this spread of like like he's got this shitty notebook of graph paper that he had pulled out that he's starting to like
I-
back up.
You have there is an enormous chance that you will get to go during the week of the first round. It is unlikely that you will draw in the top 60 numbers, which is the first day.
Can you let me can I take photos of that or something so I can kind of look over it before tomorrow? Kind of there's like a temple tap, or if it's like if I won't understand it without you, and you've got the time, maybe you could just kind of run over the basics with me tonight.
All these are blank currently.
Oh,
How about this? The one person who I was more on the fence about actually having a modern day phone just left. So we can start like a group chat, and then tomorrow we can ask Ron like what payphone he lives near.
Let's do a group chat. I love that actually.
Ron's 30.
But
How
he
am I
acts
being insulted
so.
somehow? Yeah, you start a group chat. I do have a question for Doug.
Mhm.
Where are you staying in the city? Because you come from like south west of here. Like Hollow Elm is not really getting back by 8:30 tomorrow in the morning is hard. Particularly if you might have to do X-Scroll. Do you have a place to stay?
Um, for now, I think he has like a hotel room that he has booked for one night because that is what he saved up from his like summer job between last uh like school year and now, and he has like burned a lot of like that 3 months worth of personal money on travel. So tonight he has a hotel. Tomorrow night we'll figure it out from there.
Okay.
He doesn't want to ask his mom for money because even though she would give it, and they certainly have the finances to do that, doesn't want to take from his mom.
Yeah, of course. You all start a group chat. It is currently the four of you.
Zeph
There's
immediately
some back
names
and
it
forth as it would be.
the team name with a sword emoji.
Helena's heroes.
Mhm.
I think quite soon after makes his apologies, but he's an old man. But he assures you that if you wish to stay around, you can drink to a reasonable extent for people that might be doing X-Crawl tomorrow. He looks at Milo specifically. Ron, you return to an empty apartment. Go ahead. Okay.
Once the group chat has been made, Zephyr will make her goodbyes as well, by the way.
Yeah, so yeah, you get He's like, "Hey, Ron, how's it going?" He looks down at like 4 left out of a 6-pack, and he's like, "I can spare 1." He like cracks it open for you, just on his chair, which is not really a chair that would be good for doing that, but he's so practiced. He's just like the bottle opener, like from a fabric chair somehow, and passes it to you. Yeah, he's got 2 fabric camping chairs out here, I think. One normally holds his beer. It's like I watched the Lingerie X-Crawl League. They're pretty good. I used to like it a lot, but I don't pay for those channels. Yeah, I think when it started, it used to be like they're trying to emulate the adventurer life of like you go in and you kill the thing and you find the treasure. But now there's like it's got to be entertaining even when a team does bad. So they do some trap rooms, they do like some gimmicks and stuff like that. Um, Uh, Depends on how good the rest of his team was at being entertaining. Like, there'd be some old school people that like that. Like, for example, I love uh, in the lingerie X-Crawl, and he like goes into detail about a particular body type that he likes that I'm not comfortable doing. But that
Oh.
doesn't mean that people with like that the barefoot teams are bad because I'm not into that. Right. So some people will be into whatever is happening in X-Crawl. And it's an analogy that really breaks down at even the most minuscule thought of it at all. Sure. It was a bottle.
Surely it's a beer bottle.
Still
Full
fine.
Full bottle.
It's what Frank. It's what Frank does all the time. And there's like just something down there that has never been moved because people like moved it once and then suddenly there's broken glass everywhere, so they put some trash back there to like catch these bottles. It's like, have a good night, Ron. And, I think, we'll rapidly cut to the next morning. Ron, you're being fitted for plate mail by
Right.
an old man with. Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, Milo,
Milo.
would want to do one thing whenever he ends up returning to Gemma's shop. He would just put the to-go boxes of tiramisu in the fridge and then get a note, like a sticky note from somewhere, scrounging, because he imagines Gemma's already asleep. And we'll just put a little sticky note on the front, considering it's her favorite dessert, and it just says, "I'm sorry, M." Then he'll go to sleep.
When you wake up in the morning, the note has an additional part in Gemma's like quite loopy cursive handwriting that says, "You don't have anything to be sorry about. I'm glad that you're moving on to doing something else." Also, it's not cool to sign just your initial. And then she signs it Gem, which is not her full name and also not cool. We'll go around to see what people happen. See what happens. Duck, you get back to your hotel. It's fine. You have like 6 missed calls from like family and extended family to ask how like the whole day went. You probably only have time to call one person back before it's too late in the day. Who would you like to? Who's the person that you call to tell them that like
Well,
you're on an escort?
let's see. His home phone. So that's like mom, dad, and brother and sister.
Younger brother and sister?
He's a middle child.
Okay. You roll a d4 and tell me who answers, but somebody will answer.
That's the one.
Sure. So tell me what a 1 means to you of like the most, like the person Duck is probably least expecting to answer is a 1.
Least expecting, but let's be so clear, not like least excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
It's,
think Duck has a least excited form.
We'll say oldest sister, because theoretically his older sister is actually in college right now.
You hear a so older sister. You hear a voice. It still brims with enthusiasm in a way that iJack can't do because I don't have that capability. But it's a bit smoother and a little bit more adult, and says, "Mallard residence, Adler Mallard speaking."
What was the name that we just said?
Adler. Your whole
Adla.
family's literary because you chose Sawyer, so she's named
Okay.
after Irene Adler.
Gotcha. Okay. Patty, oh my God, when did you get home?
Like today, and she's like, we see you in split screen. For some reason, I picture that your house looks like the Brady Bunch house. It doesn't have to, but that's what's in my mind's eye. Like that phone in like with the Nook, and she's like, today, like, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, but I got in last night. I was so excited to hear that you're in the big city.
Yeah. So X Crawl, like the tryouts, like I mean, went well. I didn't get like I'm on this team that's being sponsored by this guy, like this old guy, who just like has money to burn, and I think we've got like something good happening. We got like a good, interesting mix of people.
Nice. Are you like, so you're gonna be in the Kiradale Open? Should I like organize us all to come down? I can rent a van.
Yes, yeah, that would be great. And I think that some of the guys are also planning on coming up to visit. So
We'll do a bus.
we
We'll
could
get a
we could
bus.
that would be
Uh,
great.
Great. You let me know when you're like what day you're on. If it's tomorrow, we probably can't come down, but I'll see. We'll come down for the next round if you're on tomorrow. Like, because you're gonna get through to the final. So
Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna be able to pull through. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be playing tomorrow. We got to do some of our like equipment fittings. Uh, which I guess doesn't mean that we won't be playing, but
yeah, I mean, whatever day that you play will be fantastic. We'll watch it on TV. If not, we'll have like a party here if it's tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll get a bus and we'll drive down. I'll get there to drive.
excellent. That's great. Oh man, I miss y'all. I know I'm sad that I like missed you coming in. Why are you home?
Now,
Is it just for like a visit?
I'll tell you when I see you.
That's good. Well, I probably need to think a bit about some gameplays before going to bed. I can.
Sure. You need to write you need to write the speech that you're going to give everybody to get them like up and hyped. I know what you do before a game day.
Let's see. I feel
Uh,
like I might need to adjust my tone for this group. Unfortunately, it's gonna be trickier.
I'm sure you'll work it out. And you can chat for a little bit longer. But once the phone call ends, she does like send you 3 videos of her telling everybody else in your family, like so you get to see their reactions. And it goes into like a folder of a bunch of these like videos that you send of just sharing joy with your family, which is distasteful to me, Jack, but nice for you. Zeph, you get home, you
Yep.
drink a little bit of wine with Elliot. We don't need to do that scene. I think it's disheartening to do it immediately after a duck thing.
Yeah, it would make it a little bit worse. It's
Teddy,
fine.
yeah, it's like he was mean to you already, and he's like in an ebb of like, oh, I'm going to be nice to my partner, which somehow is worse. Teddy, what's your life situation? In like, do you live alone? Do you live with roommates? Do you?
Yeah, Teddy's got. I mean, Teddy doesn't have enough money to be like fully alone, but has roommates. They all have like slightly different schedules.
Mhm.
So it's often like the experience of living alone. Because there's 3 of them in the apartment. But like just like Teddy usually expects getting home at this hour that one person's going to be leaving and one person's going to be asleep, right? So very quiet, right? Like that kind of tiptoe, and then going to like the building's basement, where there's like how like whenever a apartment complex advertises like a full gym, and what they mean are like 3 treadmills, a set of missing weights. It's that kind of thing.
Yep.
And so we just zone into like Teddy like checking their alarms, checking out exactly how much time that they have to sleep. And then like getting on that treadmill with like the arm weights and the leg weights, and just running themselves into exhaustion, right, with music playing so that they can sleep well.
Mhm.
And like then finally staggering back up to their apartment and forgetting the second time to be quite as quiet.
Sure. I think even when you're forgetting to be quiet, it's so like ingrained in you to be thinking about it, you're probably not going to wake anyone up anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to quickly the next morning. I'll let you during the break kind of abstract through your game plan stuff because we're going to go on break pretty soon. Ron, you get fitted for plate mail. It is either made of iron or copper. You can pick. They are essentially identical. It's a stylistic choice, so I assume that you pick iron because like it's the base option. You have a sword and shield already, so normally you'd have to use something that's Normally, if you're bringing something in, it has to be like sponsored, but they'll basically wrap the hilt of your sword and like put a little on your shield to like be your sponsor. Duck, you don't have the problem with your baseball bat because it has an hourglass emblem logo on the base, which is your patron. If you want to see what that looks like, it is on your baseball card over where it says Hexblade. Everybody else, he's going to give you 6 healing potions to take in to like distribute as you like. You can have really any mundane equipment, but no magic stuff. So whatever weapons you want, Milo, add weapons to your character sheet through the power of writing them out by hand. So Run, you get your armor. Everybody else will get whatever armor they want. Zeph, you will presumably take nothing. Literally nothing. He gives you a different staff. Oh, you don't even have a staff now, right? Oh, you do have one now.
I think I had one, then I went, why do I have this? And I
Yeah, he gives
returned
you a
it.
staff that can be an arcane focus. Like if you want, he'll give you an arcane focus that can look like pretty much anything you want as you're thinking about it, because you have the maximum amount of time. But yeah, so you'll be completely outfitted to go into the crawl, and we will come back to you heading to Kiradale Arena for the. It's not an opening ceremony because it's not that fancy, but it is the opening kind of mingling of everybody and the drawing of positions. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes, 20 past the hour. Don't go anywhere.
Go.
Hello and welcome to the second half of session 1 of X-Crawl Infinite, where I was definitely not slightly shaken by a non-rhythmic countdown from 5. We will jump right back into it. The party has collected their gear. The party has picked their gear and it will be delivered to the stadium for you to put on in the change rooms and stuff before you go. And you have had a it's a hire car company that's called Rhino. They're like they hire out bigger stuff for like band equipments and things like that. But they come with a driver, so it's like more of an Uber type thing. So the 5 of you can like fit comfortably into this kind of bigger vehicle. They're all gray, but they all have like a shimmer of arcane energy on the engine because even though it's the modern world, most things are arcane powered if they can be, because it's much more efficient than oil and gas and things like that. And you head to the center of the city, the exact center of Kiradale, which is where the Kiradale Arena lies. It's not particularly far from Hank's Sporting Goods, but it is busy when you get there. And the reason that like Hank hired you a car is because there's no way that you can park in. You're just lining up in a massive queue of cars that are dropping teams off. And then you see some teams walking in. You see a team that's like all they're all elves. They're like they're in robes that I think, Ron, you can tell are like exaggerations of elvish robes. Like you've met your elvish family enough times that like that's not what elvish robes actually look like. Elvish robes are like more muted silver and golds, and these are like rainbow technicolor like robes. So you see some teams that are in uniform, you see some teams that are just like walking there in their armor. You see a giant furbolg who's just like really struggling under the weight of plate mail, like being like pushed on by their team. But you have to be there by 12:30, and you're pulling up at about 12:20 to get out. You get out and you head into the arena. You're kind of going into the underground bit, and there's a desk with 4 people sitting at it with like a list in front of them, and they're waiting for like people to come forward. And eventually an like older looking orc woman is looks up over those like reading spectacles at you and says, yes, can I get your team name or your sponsor name, some kind of identification in that regard?
I push slightly forward.
We are Helena's Heroes. Our sponsor is the name of the guy who I have forgotten. My name is
Hank.
Kristen. Who's forgotten this?
Hank.
Hank. What is Hank's last name?
I don't know.
Oh,
Is it?
It's Jones. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Hank Jones. Here's
Yes.
our paperwork.
Oh, great. Excellent. You're one of the few teams that have the paperwork ready to go. She scans it over, like has to go into a drawer and get out a stamp because of how few people have like had their contract like signed and ready to go. Approves it and says, okay, normally you'd have to go over there, and she gestures to where there's just a throng of people, like 7 or 8 teams worth around each table trying to find space to fill out a contract, and there's only like 3 tables. She goes, but blessedly, because you have your things done, you can just head up. And she gestures to where there is a like escalator heading up into where the corporate boxes would probably be in this stadium. She says, head that way.
Thank you so
They're going to
much.
do the draw soon. There are some of the staff up there mingling if you want to get to know some of them. depending on how busy they are and how much interest they have in doing that. Celebrities, things like that. She coughs, clears her throat, and takes a sip of water and goes, "And best of luck to you."
Awesome.
She
Thank
like
you
looks
so
at
much.
the team list, and kind of looks at you and says, "Duck."
Yes, that is me. Before we head up, actually, do you have a paper copy of the schedule for today?
She like glances around. She goes, "I have the staff schedule. The itinerary is not that." She like looks around and goes, "Give me one moment." He goes into her drawer and rifles through something and says, "Yes, this is it's sort of as good as you can get for this kind of thing." She hands it to you and it says 12:30 to 1 is like the drawing times. And then at 2 p.m. There's a 10-hour block basically of crawling, and each team has 10 minutes assigned as a maximum amount of time. It means that if you this is clearly not necessarily meant for staff, but because you were so prepared, not for non-staff. It's like if you take a long rest, you basically take a long rest and you're moved off the crawl. Short rest. You take a short rest. You're moved off the crawl for an hour, and you can only start again if the next team doesn't use all of their 10 minutes. The team an hour later doesn't use all of their 10 minutes. So there's not even a guarantee that you would get it. Because it's got steps for how that actually goes in practice, like from a staff side. This also actually, because you're proficient in X-Crawl lore, you can like skip through it and look through it pretty quickly. It has a lot of stuff about like the cycles of the way that the like monster actors, who are always called actors, how they are like cycled through. So the final room will have like a rotation of people through it. It's not always the same enemy for everybody. It will be a similar enemy, but it's not the same one. But there's not enough information here for you to get like to glean some kind of edge from that.
Awesome. Oh, thank you for this. What was your name again?
Doreen.
Well, thank you for this, Doreen. This has been really, really helpful. I hope that the next couple of teams that come through don't give you trouble with like the paperwork or anything.
Oh,
And
they just
then-
have to go through them all if they do. And she points over and kind of chuckles and says, "I'll be rooting for Helena's heroes."
Awesome. We need all the yelling from the stands we can get. Thank you very much, Doreen.
All right. She smiles. And any of you with proficiency in insight, she was being truthful. She probably will. You head upstairs. This area is quite empty because so many people weren't prepared with their like contract stuff signed. And the ones that are up here seem like much more. We were an existing team that like have been building to this, or we've just been put together. You actually see Ron and Duck. You see some of the people from the previous days open stuff and combine, like with some of the more experienced teams. But there's maybe of what you understand to be 300 plus teams, maybe only 30 or 40 are already up here. And some of them are just single people. Like not every team has sent everybody to the drawing.
If Duck like recognizes anyone from the previous day, even if they don't recognize him, gives a shout. There, I remember you from tryouts the other day, and like we'll like just make a beeline over to go start small talking with other people.
You certainly do recognize some people. Just roll me a persuasion check.
I shall do that.
Yeah, you write down somewhere on your character sheet that you have networked successfully at the Corridale Open introduction.
Where
Lot
where should that
flooring.
go?
Literally anywhere, and then you will have to remember that you have it because I will never remember. But like, if you're looking for somebody that knows something, that's something that you can like leverage for that.
Okay, I'm gonna make a Google Doc for this.
Yeah, put it wherever you like. You can put it in the team assets journal if you want, because it could be used for that. So Duck's off doing, yeah, so there should be a journal that you can all access called, in the team equipment, there's like a team resources thing. You can put it in that tab if you'd like, or team assets, somewhere there. That way other people can see it and remind you if they need to. Because this game is all about teamwork. Speaking of teamwork, Duck has wandered off to talk to other teenagers and the surrounding teams, but Duck is networking. Everybody else, make me an X-Crawl lore check, except for Ron, who can either choose to know a commentator that's about to come up or not at all.
Natural.
What the
That was
fuck is
awful.
that? Who did
Give me 1 second.
What in the
The
hell
fuck
I
was
did
that?
now.
I did that, but I did try and turn it off in advance.
What was that?
Foundry's gonna. So I installed dramatic
was
roles because I
so
was like, "Oh, that's
loud.
cool," and all it does is stupid stuff like that. And I thought I turned it all off. So just refresh quickly.
That was
Um,
an assault.
That was
yeah, it's pretty bad.
full assault on the senses. That was awful.
Zeph, you notice a face that you remember, not necessarily from X-Crawl, but from like TV ads.
Mhm.
And it's a dwarf who's maybe a little bit shorter than Milo. And he's like walking around, and he's doing that thing where he's walking around where he's like, kind of like Duck is, kind of saying hello to everybody as if he knows everybody, but at the same time doesn't stop to talk to anyone. Because he's beelining for what looks to be a like shrimp tower, which is quite close to where you guys are, and you recognize him as his name is Derek Grunderson, and he's one of the. He's a commentator for X-Crawl, but he's like a lower tier one. So
Mhm.
someone that still needs to do ads that are showing in like regional cities.
Yeah.
And the reason that you recognize him is because he doesn't have a lot of a beard. He has like quite a short beard, but he has a fantastic salt and pepper mustache. That's like really, and he's very like jovial in how he's greeting everybody. Kristen, just continue trying to refresh. So you kind of see him over there. You're welcome to talk to him if you like. It would be a good like in with somebody that is in the announcing team. And if you want people to be on your side about stuff like that, like making your image a bit better, he'd be good for that.
Yeah, I'll elbow Milo next to me and say, "Oh, that's I have already forgotten his first name.
Derek Grunderson.
Derek Grunderson." Oh, that's Derek Grunderson. Over
At
there
which
with the
point, Milo,
fantastic mustache.
you do know who that is with your +5, and Teddy knows who that is if Teddy overhears, which you
yeah.
probably do because.
So if we move on, he'll do all the announcing for if we get into the lower leagues. It's kind of what he does. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, man, he's demolishing that shrimp tower.
I know. Wanna go?
It's
Should we
real
like
challenge.
introduce our team to him or anything or
We should
I
do
don't know
that.
how these things work.
We should
I
do that.
don't know.
And we should also go before he eats all that.
Okay, let's go. I do actually want a shrimp.
You head over to the shrimp tower, which he's eating in a way that is really like he's not collecting all the shrimp from one area. He's like picking it from like little bits, and he's like flicking it up into his mouth. and he will. Let me just roll a d20 to see how distracted he is by shrimp. Very. He doesn't really notice you as you come over until one of you reaches for a shrimp, and then he goes, "Oh,
There's too much Milo.
sorry. I got lost in my little world of shrimp. I love shrimp." Derek Grunderson, and he like sticks out a meaty hand. Well, meaty because it's big, not meaty because it's covered
Yeah.
in shrimp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Milo will shake.
Yeah, he shakes everyone's hand, but he also shakes everyone's hand and like in a way that is not like creepy or offensive, and like he'll stop if somebody says anything. He like puts his arm, his other hand on your upper arm, and is like kind of gauging your strength a little bit in the shake.
Yeah, whenever that
That's a little
happens to
floppy.
Teddy, Teddy just like obligingly kind of like gives like a little nod and will like flex just to.
Oh, well, he always good to know the ones that I'm going to be announcing getting hit.
Yeah.
And also the ones who are going to be announcing whenever we win this thing.
Oh, you're confident. He like twirls his mustache and goes, "I like that. What's your team name?"
We're
Hell of
Helena's
Heroes.
heroes.
Oh, even answering in sync. How long have you been together as a team?
24 hours.
Ah,
Eating a shrimp
true,
from behind it.
a true rags to slightly different rag story. He like looks over the four of you and goes, "Well, as I said, I'm Derek Anderson. I do a lot of the Division D commentary, sometimes Division C, but I like getting in on the ground floor of things. You might know some of my famous calling from when the Blue Wolves were in Division A. I followed them all the way from Division D. I'm
You're,
looking for the
you're-
next.
Yeah. Your
You're pretty good
broadcasts are
at like
great.
painting a picture of what the team is doing together. It's neat to see it like a group vision. Not all announcers do that.
Well, whoever you like, make me a a persuasion check with advantage.
I have proficiency, so I'll do it. I'll do it.
You're
Nope, I
all
don't. Wait,
pretty good.
persuasion. Wait, persuasion?
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. I got a +6.
You're all pretty good at it. Because even Ron, who probably doesn't have persuasion, has a plus something.
Oh, it's almost a crit,
Uh,
but it's still a dirty 20.
He's like, he kind of conspiratorially looks at you, but is clear like, this man's obviously a bard, by the way. There's like no way that this is not a bard. And he's like, he leans in real close and then stage whispers so that all four of you can hear and says, I am actually, the reason that I can paint such a good picture is because I began in the world of radio for X-Crawl. And you have to be really descriptive so that people can feel like they're there and they're experiencing every hit. It's why one of my favorite things to announce are those bone crunching hits. Some people just say the same thing over and over again, and that's not fun at all. You've got to really, you want to make the listener or the viewer feel like they know the pain that the crawler or the monster is going through. Oh, sorry, actor. We call them actors now. That was Jack's mistake. He's pretty good about that.
And you make it sound
That's a
different
decision
every
Jack
time.
made right now. Yes, well, not every time. If you listen to everything I've ever done, I do repeat myself quite a lot. I particularly like describing somebody as being hit, looking like they were hit by a bell swung from a bell tower.
Love
So
it.
real
It's such a specific
oral,
vibe. I love that.
Actually,
very oral thing.
when I was a kid, listening to you is actually how I learned about the word squelch.
Yes, squelch, great word. It's good because it evokes so much, and using it for its correct meaning, fascinating. Using it to describe the sound of a gnome underneath an ogre's foot, really visceral. That's probably the time that you've heard it. That amazing clip of when that gnome popped like a grape.
You you ever compete?
Oh, when I was in my he's clearly like over 200 because he's got gray hair as a dwarf, and they only live to about 250. And he says, when I was very young and X-Crawl was very new, back then it actually was that wizards would travel with like handheld cameras for actual adventurers, and that's where I began with X-Crawl. I wasn't particularly good at it. I could make all of my teammates look very good, but they for some reason felt like I was unnecessary.
Wouldn't be the
Like
same
they all
these days, though.
died fighting a manticore.
These days, people recognize that that you need that, right? Like, it's just a part of the team.
Mhm. Exactly. The
You're-
understanding of X4 from the general public is a real triumph of how the sport has continued to grow across the empire. As you're about to continue this conversation, he'll like talk with you at length, like he likes you from that role. But you do hear from the front of the room, someone say, "Excuse me, all attending teams, please approach the front of the room for the draw. We will draw your numbers in the order that you line up. Send one delegate, please."
Hey, Duck.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Duck is inadvertently already in the line. Like Duck has just congregated that way. Kristen, you're like you're in the top 50 people to draw, like, but you're drawing a random number out of a box, basically.
Cool.
Well, you're pressing a button on a machine that generates a random number. Could you please roll me just a d20 to see kind of the vibe for how lucky you are? I'm not going to make you roll the full thing. So today is Friday. There's a full 10 hours this afternoon. You are scheduled for number 103, which is Saturday evening, which is a really good time slot.
hmm
But it will be competing with like the best of the music festival. So
Oh man.
you'll have a lot of people watching because they'll be watching the music as well. And you can actually see from here out the window, and you probably have all had a look. You can see a covered dungeon. There's like a huge amount of fabric and tarpaulin on the top of it, but jutting out from it in what you can only assume is the final room is a platform that's about 15 feet across on each side. And there's like a magical tensors elevator that's like traveling back, that can travel back and forth, and that's where the band will perform. So they will literally perform above you in this stadium when you're in the final
Cool.
room. But Saturday night's a good night. It gives you a lot of time to rest for the final if you make it. And Duck, importantly for you, your family can make it.
Oh yeah. Jack immediately texts his family group chat a photo of the schedule with like it annotated where our team will be playing.
Cool. We will move forward pretty swiftly and abstract through the next day. You do have some team planning stuff with where Duck is like running you through stuff. Before you're about to go on, you're probably scheduled to go on. The Saturday show finishes at 10. You are team 103 or 104, somewhere in that area. So you're probably scheduled to go on at around 8:20, 8:30. We will say for dramatic impetus 8:30. You're in the change rooms. You've been brought down here. You've started to get your gear on, and everybody's kind of ready to go, and you're just waiting to be led through. And a little halfling man is waiting at the door for you all to be ready, so he can take you through. And he says, "Do you have a trap, man?" He's like tossing a cube back and forth between his hands.
Over here.
He tosses it to you, which you catch effortlessly, and he says, "Can't open this till the time starts. If you see every double door is a door you can take. Single doors are stage doors. If you go through that, you're disqualified unless you go through that because you're taking a rest, in which case you announce that you're taking a rest and somebody will collect you to go through the door. This crawl is set up that you have the first room, everybody does the same. Last room is the same. You can go left, you can go right. The trap man has some stuff that teaches you about that. It's not really a trap. More like one's a thinker room and one's like a puncher room. So see how you fare after the first little bit. And he coughs a little bit and goes, "All right, do you have any questions?" Well,
good.
Follow me. And he takes you, you kind of walk through a very dark, torchlit hallway. The side of the walls are stone, but they're like fake stone. They're not carved into stone. They're like stone effect. And he takes you to a big set of doors. He says, they're going to announce you as Helena's heroes. You'll be able to hear that here. When you are announced, push this button, door will open. You want to charge through, and there will be enemies immediately there for you to deal with. All good?
Sounds exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
Good luck. And I will move you to the map if I can click things, which who knows? Hard to say. Hopefully, I've set up your tokens correctly.
In the scene.
So pick the order that you're going to go in, but you can move yourself as you do that. But this is where you're
I
coming
can't
in.
see anything.
So
Yeah,
Teddy
you
just
got
kinda like-
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Teddy just kind of sidles
Importantly-
into the front spot and hefts his. It's like a large warhammer sort of thing, but the end is smaller than a full hammer, and it's got like one end.
Stay
like
back here. Don't go past that line because we'll do initiative there.
I'll be.
Kristen, what were you going to say?
Importantly, like prior to actually going in,
Be in front of.
Duck would have pulled us into a team huddle.
This happened earlier in the change room. Please go ahead.
Okay, friends. Okay, team. This is our first real test of how we're going to be functioning as a group. I know some of you have spent a really good amount of energy and effort familiarizing yourself with the plans. But even the best laid plans largely don't survive contact with the enemy. So I want y'all to remember that you don't need to put too much pressure on yourselves to execute perfectly. We're just here to have a good time, help each other have a good time, help the audience have a good time. It's our first time out there. If we don't win, there's always the next game. How are we feeling?
The whole time Milo's
Better?
managing the spotlight over Duck.
Oh
It's
yeah,
great.
you did some precision to make it kind of reverb a little bit.
Yep, and that's going to be me stress testing a use of inspiring leader.
Yeah, that's fine. I will accept that as an inspiring speech.
Thank you.
So click inspiring leader so that we can be reminded of what it does. And then Maddie, to answer your question, yes, you
Yeah.
use 2 level spells in the same turn if you like. Okay, everybody take whatever temporary hit points that is.
What is it? It's
2 plus
Level
charisma.
what level
charisma.
are we at?
2.
What is
Level
our level
2.
now? 2.
Yeah.
2 plus 4, so that's
6.
Ooh.
56.
Six.
Hey.
That's really
That's-
good for a lot of you and a small amount of Teddy's maximum hit points. Because
Hey, it's,
Charlie maybe rolled max on.
Oh my
hit
god.
points.
We
Uh,
love that.
Yeah.
So
it's temp.
He just has like 36 hit points
yeah,
right now.
temp.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I have.
Yeah.
So this is what I
Are you
want.
normally at 30?
Yes.
No.
That's double me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking your hits.
Yeah. So this is what I would like. I want. I think it makes sense for Duck to do this role this time, but it will be somebody else depending on what the situation is in future crawls. But I want Duck describe like you've been in this moment of like the coming out to the fanfare a little bit. Describe it to me and then roll me grandstanding to set your mojo points. And while you think about that, I will explain that mojo points are working instead of inspiration. They're a team pool, so track them yourself. You can never ask to use one yourself. You can always say, for this role, I want to give a mojo point to Zephyr, or I want to give one to Milo, and it will give advantage essentially. And you just describe how in that moment you're helping them to like win the crowd over in that moment. And you get another one every time you critical, and you lose one every time you critical fail, or if you do something really stupid.
I'll
But
make a
Duck,
log
go
in
ahead.
the journals for it.
Okay, so to reiterate, what is it you are asking me, Kristen, to do?
Just something that amps the crowd up as you come out. Like
Okay.
hold your bat up, something like that. Shout something. There's microphones around; they can hear you.
Do we have a smoke machine?
Not right now. You will eventually have
Yeah.
access to a smoke machine.
Okay. I will keep this in my brain for later. No, I think Duck gives like, a run out, bat raised in the air, stops at a very strategic middle of the pack point, or middle sort of the field of the arena point. Leans on his bat, or puts it on the ground, leans on the bat a little bit, and does like a very slow sort of like pivot around it, where it's like acting as like the center of this spoke, with a arm in the air, giving like a wave, and then starts going like to try to get the crowd chanting rhythmically with him.
Roll grandstanding. I'm going to set the DC for what you did. We'll say 13, and every 5 you get over 13 is an extra mojo point. So if you get 18, so it's not bad. But the crowd's just like, they've seen so many teams come through already. You're just another team. There's a smattering of applause. You actually take advantage, because as you're like feeling that it's not landing, you hear Duck the Great from your school friends and family that have come up in the bus. So you can have advantage because we set up that you have like
A whole
that
but's worth of.
extra boost.
Nice.
And I'll make it slightly easier.
Hey.
Okay. You have 3 mojo points.
Where do we track that?
And
I got it. I got it.
Maddie will organize it. Just feel free to say, I want to give one to this person. And if you don't have one, whoever is tracking it at any given time will remember. So you come out, you have this moment where actually the crowd starts picking up the chant, and then you hear a voice in the crowd that's like, "Let's go, Helena's heroes!" And and you, Duck, you know that voice to be Doreen. Like Doreen has come to watch, and like your networking and everything has worked really well. And so you've charged out. A moment later, you see the stage door open, and a bunch of like made up people with like blue faces. They're wearing these wide brimmed like straw hats. They kind of look a little bit like zombies, but they're wielding axes. They come charging out, and I'll get you to roll initiative.
Well,
That's
Hey.
fine. I just did it separately. That's a crazy way to do that. So for some reason, this guy was hidden. So the first one kind of strides out and is loving the fact that he is the one that got the jump on everybody because it means he gets the first line. And he like walks out. He points his axe at you, Duck, as you're doing your like the end of your thing, and people are chanting your name. He goes, "We've dealt with so many of you interlopers already today, and we're going to take you down just as easily." And the crowd like jeers him, and there's like this whole moment. And then Duck, it's immediately your turn.
Great. Uh, how many enemies are on the field? Just so I have like
5.
a feel. 5 enemies total. Okay. And then can you remind me? Is this sort of like what we expect for like the whole of the fight, or do we have any reason to expect that like
we
I'm
have
just
three.
trying to
We have
figure
this
out if
room,
I should
another room,
expend
and then the
resources
final
or
room.
not?
Yeah, so you know that there are 3 rooms, and you know that there's a fight in the final room, definitely, and you get the implication from the guy before that one of the middle rooms, you don't have to go through both. One of them has a fight, and one of them has something that's more like a gimmick to get past. So you definitely know you have to do at least 2 fights.
Okay. So very first thing we'll do is we'll start as a bonus action. Uh, Duck has like raised the bat and is like resting it on his shoulder. And he gives it like a bit of a shrug off, and that shrug carries with it like a bit of a sparkly green and yellow, like a ghost of the bat itself. So we'll throw a hex onto this guy in front of us.
The one that just came out and called you out.
Yes. And Duck like nods at him and he goes, "That's some big talk." And we will take a swing at him. We'll make it a booming blade attack.
Sure.
Wait.
Just
Wait, I need
in
to move up
case.
to him first.
Yeah, just in case, do you have a stat that you want to hex for stat checks?
We'll do Dex.
Great. I'm going to call it malnourished in the token thing.
Cool.
There's like a glow of this is probably the first time you've cast Hex. There's like a glow of yellow as your bat, like it ripples along your bat, and then he stops for a second and then begins again. And yes, you can make your booming blade attack.
Oh, okay. Now I got to figure out how to actually do it's. Oh, right. I don't get the extra D8 yet.
No.
Ugh.
So just make an attack, and we will go from there. Unfortunately, a 9 will miss. It actually just clatters off some medium armor that this guy's wearing. And he bares his teeth at you, and you can see like that he's got teeth blackened to make it look like he's missing a lot of teeth.
Woof.
And mojo
then-
points are used as like actions, not reactions, right?
They're free actions. So if you want to do something now to help to give advantage, you just say, I'm giving a mojo point to that, and you describe it, and you can give advantage. You're just going to describe the thing that gets a crowd like amped in doing it.
All right. I think then, like, there's like that quick sideways glance of like at anyone else. Like, Teddy's eyes dart back, and you can see the whites of his eyes. Like, as he's like really thinking about like, is anybody else going to speak? And then he finally, calls out, "Every batter needs a little warm up."
Hey,
you can have
batter.
That hits. So roll your extra hex damage, which is a d6. And then if he moves, he will take an extra d8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hit him pretty hard. He okay. Great. You hit him pretty hard. He like staggers back, and it does kind of look like you take the swing, and then he's gonna just dodge out of the way, but Teddy's words like spur you on to complete a second rotation, and you hit him like in the. I'm actually gonna let you roll another d8 for damage because I like the use of the mojo point. And Teddy, I'm gonna need you to make a grandstanding check. This guy is very bloody. As the bigger blow hits him. And then Milo, you are up. I'm going to roll a D, flip a D2. But yes, the crowd, they pick up a bit. Milo, you're up.
Right. Seeing the front runner get kind of knocked back, Milo, from where he's at, will reach down, grab his 2 hand crossbows, and considering the earlier conversation of people being shielded, it's just going to on either side of like due to height, like probably the hip of Teddy. So you just see 2 dwarf hands with crossbows on either side of Teddy. Is going to fire at the one that's already been hit.
Sure. While you're rolling, we flash to the crowd, and like we see there's people murmuring. It's like that. I think it's a barbarian for them. The barbarian's like pretty. He's good. Like distracted the guy. Most barbarians don't do that. Roll sneak attack as well, if you want. I mean, it's not an option. I think you have to roll sneak attack.
Yeah.
And then, as you bring down the first enemy that Helena's Heroes has ever brought down, you gain a mojo point as the arrow like sinks into the chest of this thing, and you see like it just crumble down. They've been knocked unconscious, essentially. I'm going to assume that at no point you're trying to murder someone.
No.
But the crowd erupts. Like you have very efficiently taken out the first one of these. And the crowd goes wild. You get the extra mojo point. And we cut to the commentary box where Derek is like, "Oh, they call that the Dwarvish Hipfire Special," and he like the people at home are like cheering. And then one of you will get attacked, unless you
Okay,
have more things to do, which of course you do because you're a rook.
Bonus action was going to fire the other hand crossbow
Sure.
at the center guy.
Yeah, if you hover, they should have numbers to make it easier to denote who
Oh,
you're
2.
hitting. But number 2, yep.
as you're like firing, Teddy's like grip on this long weapon switches from being like kind of like crossbody and diagonal to like a full like horizontal and lift it up a little to give your crossbows full room to operate. And also as like a little bit more protection because Teddy is really, really rangy. It's not a broad barbarian you're hiding behind.
Alright,
So
the,
second is 6, right?
yes. Yeah, because it doesn't have the thing. Okay. Then they are not bloodied, as I was about to tell you that they were. But it immediately launches into action and will stride forward towards the barbarian.
Yeah. Teddy like
Swinging
pivots.
an axe. Does a 13 hit?
It does not.
Yeah, it brings it down and just like catch it on your weapon, and we move on. Run.
Kind of watch this, be like waiting, kind of seeing like there seem to be funneling down to the left. So he's just gonna like run up, and like dart around, and just like again, there's not like a lot of finesse or whatever to it. He's just gonna run around and like just point first into this guy's back or side, as the case may be.
Well, you can have advantage because there's no repartee, there's no like banter, there's nothing, there's no preamble to this, and they are used to preamble. Well, yes, that is.
Oh, yeah.
Just roll. Okay, no, it just rolled twice for some reason. Yeah, that definitely hits.
That's not right. Oh no, I see what it's saying. Sorry, I didn't prep my spells correctly. That's fine. No, I won't smite this guy. Feels a little early.
You
Having. Oh, I see what's happening.
There's
It's like
something weird with how
it's
everything's
like
set up.
getting rid of the thing, and then like having it pop back up.
Yeah. This guy is immediately bloodied. He doesn't see it coming, and there's a moment where turning to you, like it nearly breaks character out of this like kind of zombified bandit, but instead it just grunts and hefts its axe. Zeph, you are up.
Okay. I want to cast this spell, but I don't know what the range is.
Which spell is it?
Electrify.
Just say a spell that I have no concept of somehow. Electrify is just flame bolt, so 60, 120.
Oh, okay.
Certainly
that
big
part.
enough for
I
every
forgot
room
if
that
it
you
was like-
Flame bolt has 120,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
You mean firebolt?
Yes.
Firebolt, yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Because like
I said
I know we had
firebolt.
we had reflavored a
Yeah.
cantrip, but I was like, what is this? Okay, 120 feet. Okay, perfect. That's fine. Okay, great. Then I will do that on this one here.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and pop that into the chat. It just rolled damage.
Yeah, just
Plain check. There we go. I must make a dex saving throw.
Oh, I changed this a lot then.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. This one makes a dex saving throw. It succeeds. It just like dances out of the way. And like spins its axe. This one seems like a little bit of a showman. But the lightning
Keep 'em
crackles
on dancing,
and there's
twinkle toes.
Make a grandstanding check. And then
Which
Teddy
one
will
is-
go turn.
Which one is dancing? The injured one?
No, the one behind
Okay. The further back one. Got it.
the number one.
Got it.
Brigand one, if you hold
Yeah.
it. He's not dancing, he's like he moved out of the way of a
Yeah,
spell
no, I
and then
know.
spun his axe.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Maddie, was that 17? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Uh,
You're basically rolling to like see how the crowd's reacting to you with these grandstanding checks.
Mhm.
So I will go through it as it is relevant.
But I will otherwise
Okay.
stay put. And that's all I will do.
all right. Teddy kind of takes a look at Duck, decides that this fits Duck's instructions of like, yeah, we're doing well. And rather than like bring out his weapon to swing it, he switches his grip on it and is going to, while raging, make a strength check to try to grapple the one nearest.
Sure. So it's well. So you have to roll to hit
It's athletics,
versus
right?
grapple.
Okay. I've
Uh,
never barbed.
It's
Do I
bad to
roll-
grapple, but what I'm going to say is, because I would never write a monster feature that is roll to hit and then you do a grapple. It will just be the opposed check. So if somebody tries to grapple you, it just goes straight to the opposed check.
Okay.
And you make athletics, and it gets to make either acrobatics or athletics.
All right. 16. Aw.
18.
You have advantage on
I have
attacks,
advantage
right?
because I'm raging, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
dramatic. Nope,
Oh.
not better.
Aw.
All right.
Yeah, so you grab it, and it just like holds its ground, and like there's a moment where you think maybe you have it, and then it just like shrugs you off, and so you bonus action raged, and then that was your attack for the turn.
Yeah.
Okay. But the crowd kind of goes, "Oh, the bandits are actually maybe they made the bandits angry." And then they will all start doing stuff, and I have no concept of why this is chosen to output this stupid way.
I think it's because two of them had
Okay.
to roll the same initiative.
That's useless to me. All right, they're all going. One of them, the one that you stabbed, Ron, will try and hit you. One will circle around behind you. I don't do flanking, as you are all well aware. And then this one will charge at Teddy. Teddy and Milo, you both, I think, know innately from being proficient in X-Crawl lore, or Teddy because of your thing. It looks like they're intentionally attacking the tanks.
Like it's
to,
it's part of that
highlight
first
about
round.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're trying to show the best of your ability. So 2 against Ron and 2 against Teddy. This one will be Ron, and then this one will be Ron. I assume a 19 misses, right?
Yeah, they both miss. And the
Okay.
one that I already hit, I will do riposte on.
Sure.
So
I forgot that you had that.
I don't. Okay, and I add the damage to that.
Yeah, the superiority die.
Ooh, but I'll just roll that. Yeah,
But they both miss you.
He like knocks the axe off the one guy. He just like takes on the plate mail and like just lets the plate mail do it. The other guy, he kind of like knocks them open with his shield and then goes for like a quick stab. But it just like doesn't quite.
Yeah,
land.
I think it would land on a better fighter is the problem. Like you're expecting him to recover better into a better position than he does, and therefore it misses. Like it's a lack of skill that like makes it miss on his part. Teddy, these two are at you. Half the damage if it's necessary. There's a 15 hit.
Meets. So yep.
Yep. So you take 3 points from the first one, and from the second one, I will let you shove this brigand number. Actually, you weren't meant to take two. But we'll shove one of them in 5 feet in any direction that you like, and you can move into their square if you want to.
Yes, absolutely. So the one that's in front of me, I can move.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I want to put him forward. That space there, because
Yeah.
this space is like is this space like physically occupied? The one above Duck.
Yeah, you could climb onto it and to do something fun and swashbuckly. It's like a rack, basically, so it is steep, and you're moving up into that space.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. And the crowd kind of goes wild as you take the first blow, and it breaks the skin of like your arm, and blood kind of sprays. But in that way that you've like
Teddy
chosen
never
to take a
even-
really superficial wound.
Yeah,
Like-
like Teddy never even like there's no response, like zero change in expression.
Yeah, and then the second one tries to hit you, and you like step into it, and you just body it backwards, and it like stumbles back as you're suddenly up in its face, and the crowd roars again.
And that leaves
and then-
that leaves that zombie in front of Duck. Like, just despite the rack doesn't provide cover or anything. Duck can still attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on that note, it becomes Duck's turn. Duck, you've taken down one. You took down one really quickly, and now you've like got into the slog of the fight.
As Teddy maneuvers this person into place, he hollers out to Duck, "Here, Bad Brother."
And then swing or bonus action moves the hex to
To that
this guy in front of me. And we'll just like take the swing. Once again, as a booming blade.
Oh, that one didn't move because it died, I recall. It's like, did it move? That hits. Plus a d6 for hex.
Yeah, buddy.
Indeed.
This one is in really bad shape. Make me, Duck, an intelligence check.
Of any type in particular?
Well, it's extra law, but if I recall correctly. Oh, you do have extra law. Yeah, it's extra law. Why do I keep thinking Milo has extra law? Because you do. There's 3 of you that have it. Great. You definitely didn't do enough damage to take this thing down compared to the other ones, but you see that like the blow is big, it's spectacular, like for you to one-shot it so it goes down, like confirming more of what you were seeing already. And he falls and kind of starts crawling towards his door and will leave.
And then our Duck like takes a step back and then takes a step forward and like baseballs or slides into this space in front of this guy for next turn.
Nice.
Okay, make me
And, like-
either a grandstanding check or an acrobatics check, whichever you prefer. Yeah, perfectly. You like the floor is not at all slippery, and yet you make a baseball slide look perfect, and you somehow kick up dust that's not there. Like it all works flawlessly, to the point that it will give Ron advantage on the next attack on Brigand 3. because it's distracted by this dust that you kicked up. Milo, what's this green sphere?
I'm not sure.
Thought it was the attempt at applying a hex and it went wrong.
I'll get rid of it. I thought somebody was maybe measuring a space for a spell. But no, go ahead.
Yeah, Milo. Milo is going to aim at Brigand 2 again.
Mm-hmm.
And will once again do a bonus action shot at him.
Yep.
Terrible.
You lose a mojo point as your crossbow jams, but it jams in a way that like makes this huge like. There's a moment of silence and this really bad creaking sound as the whole like crossbow seizes up, and it will take you an action to unjam that at some point, and you lose a mojo point.
Okay. Milo looks at the hand crossbow as it made that loud noise, and I think he's just gonna look at it and then toss it, and then we'll just aim with his other one, but with his actual just action now.
Sure. Go for it.
That crossbow doesn't have a Hank's logo on it.
No, the hand crossbows don't, because Hank doesn't make them himself. Yes, I will live hits. Yes, it does.
Yep. So 10 points of damage.
Against Brigand 2.
Yep.
This one, it isn't enough to kill it, and it chooses to stay standing since you like had a bit of a failure, and like for entertainment value, it makes more sense for it to stay up. I will say you have to do the attack action before you can use a bonus action shot.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
In just the way that it works for that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's very close to knocked out.
Milo would then move.
Mhm.
I think he would move and begin to like take a step this way, but then would kind of like take a side glance back and see that Zeph is kind of by themselves and open. And after a brief bit of hesitation, will then take a step back and kind of like be in front of them a little bit.
Cool. I like it. Also, you recall that you have the cylinder that you weren't allowed to open until the thing started, that you can pop the lid off and read next turn if you like.
Okay.
As object interaction stuff. All right. Brigand 2 I accidentally did already, so it won't have a turn. Run. You have advantage if you hit the one that you had already stabbed, because it is currently wondering where this fucking cloud of dust came from. And why this kid's wearing cleats.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stab him, and this time I will try saying something. So he's gonna be like, "Hey, pay attention."
Yeah,
Like, kill
run!
Make me a grandstanding check.
Go
That
run.
absolutely does kill them.
Hey.
So look, there are definitely people in the crowd that applaud the blow, but the pay attention, like, it's like someone doing a bad Jeremy Irons impression to like the crowd. They're like, "What? Why would they pay?" People don't get it, but there will be in the distant future when you're mega famous, people will remember that line really fondly. But right now, they're not vibing.
Wait. Duck from his cloud of dust shouts, "Yeah, that's Ron the battering ram. Pay attention to him." Can I give him?
Ron's just like,
You
"What?"
can.
No.
You can definitely do that. So you can
We
have
also
advantage
only have 2
with the
mojo points, so we're down to
Okay.
1 mojo point.
This
Then
is a
with that.
confidence building exercise for Ron.
The one that we lost.
Hmm?
From the
Including
that
the
one.
one that we lost. We're down to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so re-roll. People like run the battering ram.
Reroll like advantage.
Yeah, like you did.
I mean, sure. Well,
Well,
Aw.
he's more dead than he was. Let me roll just
No,
a d8.
re-roll the grandstanding check.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So 23.
I misunderstood.
You already
No.
rolled it. It's fine.
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
It's fine.
Sorry, sorry.
Rolled that nat
Great.
20.
I'll take the crit. I'm not giving you another mojo point because it's a mojo point spent. But yeah, people like pay attention. It's like, oh yeah, like he's teaching them a lesson. He's trying to make them better on the battlefield. Yeah, battering ram. I'm gonna need you to roll me a D100, Andrew, because there's a correlation between the battering ram and a different nickname.
61.
But nobody sees it. Nobody considers that link that exists. But yeah, you absolutely eviscerate this guy, and then the pay attention does start to gain some traction. Do you have anything bonus actiony to do?
No, because I don't want to use a spell on this fight that seems like it's almost over. Also, I need to actually prepare my spells. Okay.
Zep. You're up. The one closest to you is really badly injured. You can see like the blood
Mhm.
or blood capsule running down from his mouth.
Blood capsule.
Hard to say what it is.
Yeah. I think Zephyr will then kind of start swirling her hands together, and will say, "Stay cool," and will kind of blow it out of her hand, and will cast Frostbite on that guy.
Sure.
Cat con save. Oh, there it went.
He succeeds. He actually, you know what? Because of what their vibe is, he looks like he's about to resist it, and then he like he can't emulate not passing. Like he can't emulate passing in terms of being hit by it and get all frosty, but he like shivers and he does a really actually I should roll performance. for this one in particular. He does a really passable shot like thing of going bone stiff and then falling to the ground. And you've already rolled grandstanding once for like extra fame, so you can't do it again.
Yeah.
In this fight, I mean, sometimes you can, but I won't let it happen for that one.
Mhm.
But they're thinning out. There's literally only one guy left who, for some reason, I didn't untoggle his visibility in the tracker. Do you have a bonus action thing to do?
No, I'll just move up a little bit and say, "Come on, let's go, Milo." I'll just start moving forward a little bit.
And Teddy, you are up.
Cool. Teddy is going to sidestep Duck and Ron and just haul ass. Like it's like the full classic textbook barbarian charge. And bring that hammer down.
Sure. I'll put you somewhere appropriate. That hits.
Cool. I'm gonna roll my advantage just in case.
Why you have advantage?
Because it's definitely reckless because it's his full charge.
Oh, reckless.
Like, yeah, it's.
I forgot about reckless attack.
Yeah. So it hits. Yeah.
Yes. 10 damage. What happened? This rolled 3 times.
I don't
8
know.
damage is the first one.
Yeah, 8 damage is the right one. I don't know why
Okay.
it kind of my computer's things.
It's not your computer's fault either. Foundry got real weird between last time I used it and this time. This guy is not quite bloodied, but you know that it's just like one blow to take him down at this point. And then Duck, he will swing at Ron.
I'll also move forward a bit, like to give Duck both options and where to stand. Like kind of like it's like almost like a very deliberate like the same sort of come hither that we saw in the
Yeah.
prologue.
Does that work? My family's also being weird.
Yeah, it's a little glitchy for me.
Oh, it's because that guy's dead.
Ah.
Does a 21 hit you, Ron? I believe it does, but
Yes, it does.
okay. He slashes you and somehow finds like a gap in both your shield and sword and armor. For a total of an amount of damage that for some reason it didn't want to output. So I have to do the math quickly in my own mind. For 8 points of damage with this axe, just it's kind of more bludgeoning because you're still armored, like, but it pushes your armor a little bit into you.
Sure. Most of that hits that temp HP, so he kind of like scrapes by with the amount of motivation that Duck gave him.
Yep. And then Duck, it's your turn. Your front line is surrounding this poor actor.
Yeah, Duck marches up. And just as like the other actors have been crawling like off, he's actually been giving them like a thumbs up, like a hey, thanks for what you do. But he gets up there, will bonus action move that hex, and not even bothering to like swing the bat around to give it that extra booming blade, is actually gonna poke at this guy with the butt of the bat. Jab at him with the butt of the bat.
Yep. Make your attack roll. That misses. A tragic moment.
Tragic. But it gives our rogue time to do
Yes,
something
that's
cool
true.
now.
Milo,
To open the box.
You pop the cylinder open and you just pull out like a printed out note, and it says, "Open a door, the other locks forever. Left are steps of faith, and 8 is the horde of a mechanical god."
Okay.
And then it's your turn to
Uh,
murder this man.
Yep.
He'll just
Milo
live forever.
looks at that note. It's kind of like okay. But it's going to slide around. The Farina is going to see this man is surviving at the front line of it. Actually, yeah. Milo is going to hold his action to cast Minor Illusion.
Sure. Run. You're muted.
I don't know what all this fapping about is for. I'm just gonna slash and say, "Die, zombie!" Ah!
Oh yeah, it's a really inconsistent costume, by the way, because they are zombie bandits and they speak and grunt. And that is enough to bring him down, presuming that's what you were waiting for your minor illusion.
Yeah. Whenever the zombie brigand gets hit by Ron, there's a loud announcer-like voice that kind of screams out, "Game, set, match!"
Make a
Minor
grandstanding
illusion.
check.
Oh, I do have that.
Yeah, the crowd like kind of goes wild and they're like, "Yeah, the battering ram. They're like a sports team. Game, set, matches from tennis." And somebody else in the crowd's like, "It's not a team sport, bro." Like, but We're not really going to move out of initiative, but we'll go back to the top because Duck presumably Milo. You're in initiative because of the speed of doing stuff, but you can decide what to do before we move things.
I think if there is a no, he wouldn't. Milo would just keep moving up and is just going to be looking at the node again, which wait, could you repeat that please?
Sure. Yes. It said, now I have to try and remember exactly what I said as if I'd written it down. It says, once one door is opened, the other remains locked forever. To the left are steps of faith, to the right, hordes of a mechanical god.
Okay. Yeah, Milo will be looking at that. And then after kind of looking at it for a second, we'll just look up and I guess to just the cathode group. Right, sounds fun.
Teddy like just immediately starts headed towards the right. Doesn't like actively grab the door handle, but like that's sounds like a direction
I'm
to
going
go.
to assume roughly this order,
Yes, that looks correct to me.
something like that.
Yep.
All right. You head in. The doors close behind you. They slide down and lock into place, which is something that you all kind of expected. And as Ron and Teddy, you hit that point, and the doors lock. You see an empty room, but for the slight rumbling of the lid of this kind of. It's not a sarcophagus because that would be sacrilegious, but it's meant to like make you think of one.
Mhm.
And it's like rumbling a little bit.
I'm gonna go stand like here.
And can Duck
All right.
shout to the crowd, should we open it?
Yeah, you can. Make me a grandstanding check now that you're in a new room. What did that one do then? Yeah, they start chanting like, open it, open it, open it. So Ron, we'll say it's still your turn if you want to respond to the crowd. Don't know if that feels like it's in keeping with your character at all.
Here's open it, and he's gonna shrug, walk forward, and with a boot, like kick the coffin lid off to slide it, so that he can
Sure.
then
I'm going to move you slightly.
slice down immediately.
Sure, you are prepared because you are a technical fighter that is always prepared. The others could not possibly be prepared for this horde of mechanical beasts that appear. There are 6 chickens that are made of clockwork and 4 mosquitoes made of clockwork.
Oh,
But you can make your attack at one of the chickens.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do the
Like they
top
explode out at you.
one.
Like they are aggressively like gonna swarm at you.
16.
16 hits and 8 will be enough to. How do you want to kill this clockwork chicken?
It's just like they're like fluttering out at us, and he just like lops the head off of one of the chickens.
All right, we're gonna move back to the top of initiative. I did roll already, and they swarm out. These ones are not as pleasant in that they are only hitting the tanks because they are less thoughtful about it. Ron, you're gonna get swarmed a little bit by them. All right, I'm gonna do the chickens first. They have 1 attack. Ron, these will all be against you. Can these even hit you? That's an important question. Oh, of course they can. You take 7 entire points of damage from a chicken. its beak ripping up into like your jaw. It's like going for the face attack. The second chicken misses. The third chicken also misses because these will almost always miss you. Then Teddy, you're gonna get attacked by one chicken. Also, I will allow your rage to persist when you're not being attacked. Did Charlie disappear?
It's a BRB.
Okay. Well, in that case, Duck, you're going to get attacked by two chickens. The ancestral enmity will continue. Does a critical hit you?
Oh my god.
No.
You want to get crit by these things. They do 2d4 plus 1 damage. You take 5 from the first peck. And the second chicken just breaks down. Like it just stops working. But I will let you... No, there's nothing I can offer you that's not a terrible deal. The little mosquitoes will attack. One is going to try and bite you, Run. I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. It tries to bite you and you just like swat it away. Teddy, I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw. Everybody except for Teddy is getting bitten by one. Duck misses.
Why won't it let me do a saving throw?
Terrible.
Milo, you've rolled so many
Another
natural ones.
one?
That's
Oh my
also
god.
The end of your. That's the end of your mojo points.
We're
That's
out of
a
mojo
minus
points
mojo.
now.
But the good news is that Zephyr and you have succeeded. The other two will take this damage. Duck, you take 4 points of damage as it bites you, and Milo, you take 5. I think it's still just in your temporary hit points.
Yep.
Then, Duck, we're at the top of the round, and it's your turn.
He goes, not bugs. But is going to turn his attention to the chicken. Do I need to recast text, or like how does transitioning from rooms work?
It's been, if you'd taken more time, it would be down, but it's been seconds. Like Milo basically was just like, let's go right immediately.
Yeah, just made a decision. So that sort of like glowing shape of the baseball bat floats in from the other room and places itself upon the chicken in front of me, almost like a very convenient target. And Duck, instead of like taking a baseball swing, is gonna swing it downward, the bat downwards like a club, and we'll booming blade that. Because I can just do that.
Yeah.
Booming blade
Nothing's
is
ever
like
tried to move away from you.
Yeah.
Booming blade is great.
Describe how you smash it.
So Duck smashes downward, just like as a one. It's just like a one-armed swing, and connects with like the body of the chicken. The head like pops off and goes flying, and it's just in shambles, just absolutely shattered.
Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at your weapon. You should be doing D10 because it's a versatile weapon. But I said it wrong. So I will fix it before next time. But yes, it dies. These things are very fragile. They're very annoying, and there's a lot of them, but they're very fragile. Milo, you are beset by tiny mesquites.
In the off chance that they have opportunity attacks. Milo's going to disengage.
Sure. Bonus action disengage.
Yep.
Assume.
Yes.
Yep.
And we'll kind of just like weave through them, kind of like ducking his head under one that busts over his face, like about him in the face. And we'll kind of like climb onto this pew.
Yep.
And is going to shoot. Is the chicken that clawed Ron is still alive, right?
It was a flurry of activity. It's very hard to tell which one clawed Ron. But I also need you to make me an acrobatics check as you jump up onto the pew.
Oh, another nat one.
Yeah, do it.
Don't.
Close.
The suspiciously unsturdy pew shatters underneath your feet, and you tumble to the ground. You take 1 point of damage, and you have to stand back up, and it's a little bit embarrassing.
I forgot. Is there like a disadvantage on making ranged attacks if prone, or is that getting hit by ranged attacks?
Yes, there is disadvantage on making range attacks when prone.
I trust that Maddie knows that rule. 'Cause I totally
Then
didn't.
then Milo will kind of blink on the ground for a second, and will get up and with one hand dust, and with the other hand just aim the crossbow and shoot at one of the chickens.
Sure. Did you leave a crossbow in the other room? Did you ever pick that crossbow back up?
I made the choice to not pick it back up.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah, shoot at a chicken. That hits. And it kills it. The chicken is skewered. Roll your sneak attack damage to see how much this chicken that has 1 health is killed. Yeah, a lot. It dies 1200%. Ron, you just see a chicken skewered by a crossbow bolt. And then it's your turn.
All right.
You do hear the cracking of the pew, and there's like some minor laughter from the crowd.
I guess it looks like the chickens are the bigger threat, is what it feels like. So he's just going to go to cut down another chicken. He tries to think of a quip and can't in the moment, which is probably why he maybe misses.
Unless you have a massive bonus, that's a miss. Yeah, that's a miss. Too much time thinking about the quip, not enough time thinking about the precision blow.
Could use the precision attack, but again, don't want to waste stuff. I feel like there's probably another encounter.
Zeph.
I'm gonna do lightning lure. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get like mime a fishing reel, cast it towards the mosquitoes that are near me.
That's funny. Sure. They make a strength save, which I'm sure they are amazing at. Just everything is saving against you, Maddie. This is how Alice feels every week.
It sucks, man.
I don't think that's correct, actually. Let me look at that thing. No, that should be a fail. They had proficiency.
Okay,
when
so like
they have like
they're a little
3 strength.
tiny mosquito.
Yeah. Well, they have -4 strength, not -2
Oh,
strength.
jeez. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it just
takes 4.
vaporizes.
Yeah, lightning damage goes. Who's
yes.
next?
And make a grandstanding check because I like the fishing line thing.
Okay. $23.
Yeah, people are like really into it. There's like a big cheer as the thing vaporizes on the lightning emanating from your hand. Teddy will hit something. Oh my god, Charlie's got 15 weapons in here. I don't remember what their AC is. Yeah, Teddy kills one of the tiny clockworks leaving us at the top, where Ron, you are still beset by things, and Zeph, you're gonna be attacked by this tiny clockwork.
Okay.
So we'll do that first. Can you make me a dex save, and also Ron, make me a dex save?
Crit.
That's a success.
And an MP.
Yes, and you get a mojo point as you just effortlessly. That's also a success. Both of you they're mosquitoes, but they're not even as blood. Like mosquitoes are good at getting onto skin. These are not because they don't have the blood scent. So you just both move slightly out of the way, and they hover towards you and then hover back. And then these two chickens will miss you, Ron. This game's so hard when you don't roll 2 crits in a round. And we're back to Milo. These things are really easy to kill. Like, any of you could just step on one of them and it would die.
Did you skip Duck?
Did I skip Duck? Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Duck. It's your turn.
Duck is going to do the same baseball slide maneuver that he did earlier to get over to the chicken space. I realize I'm leaving the reach of a mosquito, so we'll take that oppie. The thing I'm real worried about.
Because they can't attack.
Cool.
They don't have an attack action.
Great. And as that slide is happening, and this is a longer slide this time, the Hex will follow behind onto this chicken. And Duck skids to a stop. And without even the process of him standing back up from that is what drives the momentum of the next baseball swing.
Sure. I'm going to need you to make me an athletics check.
Athletics? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you skid across. This is a longer slide. And it doesn't work as well. The uneven ground really digs into your knee in a place. And I'll let you make the attack if you take a d6 worth of just muscle strain damage, or you can't pop up an attack at the same time.
Oh, I'll take the damage.
All right, and then roll your attack. Oh, that kills it. And you take 3 points of damage. It's all knee strain, just all knee muscle pain or ligament pain. But yeah, you absolutely obliterate this thing. And then it is Milo's turn. As you're cleaning up these little things.
Yeah, Milo's going to aim at one of the little mosquitoes next to Zeph. Shoot at it.
You will make that range attack with disadvantage because it is a tiny, hard to pin down with a range attack mosquito.
Yeah.
$13 is exactly enough to just shatter this mosquito in midair. And the crowd goes pretty bonkers about that. Immediately forgotten as you're falling, because that is such a good shot to be able to pierce a mosquito at a 10-foot range with a hand crossbow.
Ooh, actually, I rolled twice. I should have missed with disadvantage. So it was an 11. It's the lowest.
Oh, it was an 11? That feels really low, but I trust that your stats are correct. Yes, that misses. The tiny mosquito for a moment looked like it had been destroyed. Oh, good. These things are the worst to deal with.
Because steady
but
aim is something you get at 3rd level, right?
Yes, but we have to talk about it because I tend to not.
Oh, gotcha.
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 Additional stuff. All right. Run. There's a chicken in front of you, and presumably a mosquito is buzzing around somewhere because you can hear it.
Oh, I missed the chicken. These chickens giving us lots of trouble for some
This
reason.
chicken's the real villain. Yeah,
God
you
damn it,
missed,
Ron!
losing
We
a
lost
mojo
our
point.
mojo point.
God damn it, Ron. I'll give you a mojo point for saying "God damn it, Ron" in the middle of a fight. The crowd loved it.
All right, so we're flat.
You
We're
regained a
still at
point
one.
immediately. And then
I'm not making a
Zephyr,
mark
your
it.
turn.
I was like,
How hard is it to hit
sweeping.
a chicken?
Listen, I don't usually fight things that don't also have swords.
It's a real implication that you're having sword fights a lot.
In this modern world.
The crowd does seem to really like the banter. Like when you're chatting between each other, they like are into it. Zephyr, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna lightning lure again the little other mosquito near me.
This
reel him back in
surely
again.
has the strength set wrong as well. A fail, it evaporates too. Like
And I'll just
the
move up a little bit
the
into the room.
the announcer's like, looks like the storm sorcerer is trying some fly fishing. That's not his voice at all, but my voice is really struggling. Teddy walks up and will try and hit chicken. Teddy kill chicken. As soon as the last chicken dies, the clockwork mosquitoes go inert as well. You have a moment if you'd like to drink any healing potions, something like that, before you move on and upwards. There's only one door.
I will pause and I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
I'm gonna ask the group. I'm gonna say, I'm not really familiar. How are we like almost done?
We've
Okay.
one room left.
Okay,
according to
I
the
will cast
announcement.
less on everyone.
Everyone?
You can't hit
That's
everybody.
not true. I can't hit everybody. On myself, Teddy, and
The front three.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie, are you?
Well, wasted 4.
Can you be here for like the very start of next week?
Yeah, I should be fine to do that.
Okay, we'll. So, you step forward through these doors, bursting through them. Make me a. Just roll me a d20, Andrew. I want to see how in sync you and Teddy are. Bursting through these doors.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm rolling a d20 with both of them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that. It could be worse, but it's not great. You burst through these doors expecting a final room, as I accidentally locked them, only to see actually 2 more doors directly in front of you, which you step up. Roll me a d20 again to see if you can get these ones in sync. Just a little dungeon judge joke.
Nope, it's the
Somehow
opposite now.
As you head in, a huge cheer erupts. And for a moment, you all foolishly believe it's for you. But it's actually the start of a guitar strain coming from the platform above where the band is playing. There seemed to have been a bit of a break as you were starting, and it nearly distracts you from the fucking giant minotaur with a painted white face that stands in front of you. And it turns and roars, and spit just goes everywhere, but it is silent. And that's where we will leave this week's session.
Oh, Kristen's asking about a spell.
Yeah, probably we can. Yes, you can do that.
Nice. I wanted to do that in the room before we got to here.
Yeah, that's fine. That happens. All right, we will be back next week for the this fight, and then Maddie, your planned absence will be good to go. But thank you for joining us. I enjoyed this session a lot. I really liked these goofballs. You did really well with your grandstanding roles. So you're already getting some notoriety and fame, which is good. And by notoriety, I did mean exclusively fame. I think you got. But we'll be back next week, as I said. Thank you for watching. Andrew, you need to
Yay!
probably end the
You have to
session.
say
Thank
goodbye.
you. Sorry. Bye.
We got